Sorry for the delay, gang. I was gonna start. Oh, sorry. I was gonna start, and then I realized that there's a lot. I needed to cook for my mom. And I needed to do some cleaning and shit because she was gonna come back from work in a bit. So I wanted to get that done first. Yeah, fun times. All is good now. I'm done. To fucking put some moisturizer on my hands because they're getting really dry. Anyways, it's pretty late today. Yeah, I was gonna start sooner and then just a bunch of shit happened. Oops. So let's see. Shit, I just realized that chapter 435, which supposedly is the last chapter of the volume, is released on August 4th, the week before Ubon, aka Break Week, mid-August. Oh shit, there's another break mid-August? So after volume 435, we're gonna get a break. Oh boy. That's gonna be fun. Let me drop this here. Twitch side. Good afternoon, Fate. Hope you're doing well. We are getting smoked out from Canada fires. Are you near Canada or do you live in Canada? It's really hot here. It's fucking blazing. But I don't know if it's like the fire, like, because for us it's Chicago. I see. Well, I hope you're safe. I hope everything is okay. Today was going okay, and then and then the cold brew machine exploded in my face. So I was literally like soaked from head to toe with coffee. So luckily I got to get out of work a little early because of that. But, you know, soaked head to toe with coffee. At least it made my hair kind of wavy. I don't know. Other than that, like, despite getting out early, I felt like really tired when I got home. So I didn't stream as soon as I wanted to. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Nothing too crazy. Small prediction. Kazuya works super hard to change himself, to the point that he burns out from all the unwarranted work, only for Chizuru to not even recognize him anymore, leading to her rejecting him once again. No, I don't think so. I've actually strayed so I've heard this exact prediction at least, like, I don't know, 20 times in the past. Like, since Kazuya changed his hair, to be honest. Since Kazuya changed his hair, I've been hearing this exact prediction, and I don't think so. Rather, I don't think Kazuya... So, one, I don't think Kazuya is gonna burn out. Two, Chizuru, seeing how much he's changed, will not reject him. If anything, it will raise some concern for her. Maybe she'll be interested and be like, why is he changing so much? Maybe she'll blame herself, right? Everyone's immediately going to, she's just going to reject him again. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think something else is going to happen where Kazuya is going to reach a high, and he's going to lose himself, and I think Chizuru could help drag him out of that in some ways. Rather than, like, Chizuru rejecting him again, you know? I think that's not what's gonna happen. I'm straying as far away from this theory as possible. It just doesn't sit right with me. It feels very against Chizuru's character to reject him again after being so motivated just because he looks different. If anything, that makes Chizuru seem very superficial. Rather, I would be curious to see how Chizuru would react and what she would do with this change. You know? So much happened while she was looking away, and might she consider, wait, have I been the one making him change this whole time? Then you could transition into Minnie and be like, Minnie facilitated a lot of this. Wait, why is Kazuya feeling the need to change? Do you see how it can go in a very different direction than Chizuru just rejects him again? I don't know. That feels very superficial on Chizuru's part. Like, if that actually does happen that way, I just don't buy it. I feel like, if anything, it plays directly into Chizuru's motivation to help him regain himself, you know? Now that she seems like she's determined to face him, you know, seeing how much he's changed and confronting him about the change and wanting him to, like, find himself again, or helping him find a new sense of self, seems like something more Chizuru would do. But I could see why that would maybe make Kazuya doubt himself and be like, oh, was my effort all worthless? And Chizuru would, like, you know, eventually notice that and tell him no, but that could be an important element in their relationship. Anyways, that's a whole other rant. You say that Reiji doesn't like to do the same thing twice. What does that have to do with this? Reiji just doesn't like repeating himself, like, straight up. He'll discuss a similar topic. He's just not going to repeat himself straight up. Like, I just don't think a second rejection makes a whole lot of sense. If that's what you mean. No, I don't think you're stupid. I just think you're doing what a lot of everyone else is doing, which is, like, tunnel visioning on a solution that seems like it fits the narrative, but if you think about it a little bit, it doesn't. That's all. Of course, gang, don't forget to go to Twitch side. Let's see how we're doing Twitch side. Do I have my thingamajig yet? Have I at least gained one more? Nope. Yeah, as I thought. So, unfortunately, yesterday's stream, as I predicted, did not count for Twitch side. Because technically there were only 2 people there. So, I think it just did not count. Right? It was only JoJo and Goku. So, I don't think it counted. Yeah, it seems like we're going to be stuck in this, like, loop until we get at least one more person to go to Twitch side. What can you do? Okay, I think Goku sent me a few more stuff on Discord. I found something interesting. Everyone in the chapter's reacting not just to what's physically in front of them, but to what it represents. I feel like you've said this. Mami isn't really reacting to Kazuya standing in front of her. She's reacting to what Kazuya represents because of the shared history. Kinda? Likewise, Ruka isn't emotionally affected by Umi simply appearing on TV, but by what his image represents to her. Okay, that's a little more interesting. In that sense, the present becomes a mirror rather than a cause. Huh. The present becomes a mirror rather than a cause. Just like a mirror doesn't create your reflection, but reveals what's already there. Okay. These encounters don't create any new emotions. They reveal what emotions that were already beneath the surface. I feel like you have something there, but doesn't feel like to me. I can go over to Twitch. I would appreciate it. I need at least 3 people on Twitch. Let's see. Ooh, Cavern of Remembrance. That's a good one. Ooh, Cavern of Remembrance is a good one. Ooh, man, I love Cavern of Remembrance. We'll get there eventually when we keep going with Kingdom Hearts 2. Something's missing, right? Like, I just feel like something is missing. You know? It's like you have some good ideas there, but the puzzle pieces aren't clicking together. Now, our friend who sends us emails has also sent me a few emails that I have not gotten to read. Need your help, probably. At some point, I will get to it if I can. Oh, Cavern of Remembrance is so fucking peak. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, bro, we have a problem. The fucking grifters are saying the same thing I am about the fucking Nolan's Odyssey movie. God damn it. It always happens, right? You have like a valid like take about something, and then the fucking grifters start saying the same thing because they just want culture wars. And I'm like, fuck off. Fuck off. Damn it. Okay. My email. Mini reminds me of Mushu from Mulan. Kinda. I can kinda see it. God, the Cavern of Remembrance is so peak. Stutter butter. hello, purple Meg. Stutter butter. That's cute. Alrighty. Where is our friend Largo? Oh boy. How long is this? Oh, not too long. I was expecting much worse. Here, maybe I'll look it up. Largo. What do you have for me, my friend? I haven't read your stuff in a hot minute. I haven't read your stuff in a hot minute. God damn. Yeah, there's a lot. Okay. From the top. I'll read like 2 for now. Don't dress. I think the line Chizuru says in the acting recording will be significant. It looks like as if a character played by Chizuru mocks someone's dress. Yeah, we said this. Do you remember what happened at the station Aoyama when Kazuya and Chizuru were returning from their trip? Ruka shows up, and the first thing she did in her verbal attack was to mock Chizuru's dress. Was this during the movie arc? Wait. Was this during the movie arc? Wait. Are they referring to the movie arc? Wait, if that's the case, is Chizuru playing Ruka? Wait, if that's the case, is Chizuru playing Ruka in the play? Bruh. Wait, that would be really interesting. Wait. This would be chapter 138. I was right. Okay. What's this? It's obvious you two are enjoying the morning after. Did you just forget that I'm your girlfriend, you pig? I thought, and what's with that dress you're wearing, you slut? Wow. I wonder if she actually said that in Japanese. That'd be really funny. Why me? Where's the hickey? I don't have one. I don't know if she's outright playing Ruka, but there's something there. I can kind of see it. Okay. Maybe she's playing Mommy. Or maybe an amalgamation of Mommy and Ruka. Just the villain, you know. Ruka should blah, blah, blah. Chizuru could be playing Ruka. In Hawaiians, the same situation happened again. This time involving Mommy, who attacked Chizuru and accused her of being a bitch. Now the tables have turned because in chapter 432, Mommy is also putting on a dress. Wait, I didn't even fucking think of that. Chizuru is watching her performance. She says that's a dull dress in her performance. Next thing we see, Mommy is wearing a summer dress. Bruh. And what does Mommy do? Ask, am I cute? Wait, how did I not clock this? That's too coincidental, bruh. Oh, that's too well-timed, bruh. Okay. It seems to me that if any of the girls happen to see Kazuya and Mommy together right now, she would immediately understand the significance of the dress Mommy is wearing. Okay. Chizuru also dressed rather casually during her trip to Aoyama. It wasn't until the return trip, when she and Kazuya were alone for some reason, she decided to put on a dress. What's also interesting is that Mommy's dress looks like it's made of denim. Yeah, that's kind of like a vibe I kind of got. It's like denim, leather. I couldn't quite tell. Where is it? The most popular colors are shades of blue and black. I think Mommy might subconsciously be thinking back to Hawaiians and remembering what color swimsuit Chizuru was, and that Kazuya might like that color. To our eyes, it just looks like black, but this dress is like also a tell because she literally kind of looks like Chizuru, right? She's wearing like a mini skirt and the black top, which again is like a thing Kazuya has seen and liked. So it's there. If I'm right, this matches the color of the bracelet Mommy lost in water at the beach in Shimada because she said it was blue too. She assumed at the time that Mommy had lied, but what if she hadn't? Could it have been a bracelet made of lapis lazuli? Well, we see the bracelet in the anime. So the anime implies to you that the bracelet is real. Right? So the anime shows you that the bracelet is real, right? There's an actual bracelet. In the manga, you never see the bracelet. Whichever you choose to interpret, like, it still works either way, right? Because Mommy says she finds her bracelet. Maybe she placed it somewhere. Who knows? Not necessarily lapis lazuli, though. It didn't look like lapis lazuli. One of the most popular ways of cleaning lapis lazuli is to expose the stone to moonlight. Really? In chapter 432, Mommy is wearing a crescent moon necklace. Yes, I noticed this too. I'm surprised no one commented on this. So no one commented on this. Mommy's wearing a moon necklace. It's a crescent moon. Right? Do you see it? It's a crescent moon. I'm surprised no one commented on this. Right? It's covered here. Right? The crescent moon is covered here, but she's wearing a crescent moon. Right? You can clearly see the moon here. Right? It's clearly a crescent moon. Which is very, like, that seems oddly, like, poignant. Is there a closer one where we can see it? No. The one time we could see it, it's fucking covered. Right? The one time where we could have seen the fucking necklace, it's covered by the goddamn bubble. Are you kidding me? Right? At least closely and for sure. If you're heading in that direction, I have two possible scenarios in the mind, blah, 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 blah. For now, I'm pointing a whole new scene where Mommy falls into the pond. Mommy saved from the rain. The place where Kazuya is supposed to switch places with Mommy behind the wheel is in Koigawa, Saitama Prefecture. Stop at Koigawa, up ahead, and switch drivers to Nanami-san. Okay. Is there a significance to that? The photo from Wikipedia reminds me a little of the streets where Mommy posed for the photographer in a... You mean Minnie. Minnie... Okay, yeah, he said Minnie. Minnie posed for a photographer in a kimono. Okay, if Minnie were to see them right now, we'd have another awkward situation. As the number of Kazuya's secrets that Minnie collects would increase. Then Minnie would have to try really hard not to use that knowledge for her own purposes. We haven't seen anything Minnie related. So I'm not sure about that. It's possible. I just... You know... It's possible. I'm not going to pretend like it's not possible. Minnie might not randomly see them. However, Reiji's been avoiding that random encounter thing unless it's like there's a reason for it. So it's like he creates a logical scenario for the possible encounter thing to happen. So for example, when Umi is at Kazuya's workplace, of course there's a chance he might see him holding arms with Ruka. Yeah, that makes sense. Right? It doesn't feel random. This feels like a bit like fishing. It's like, yeah, Minnie could happen. I'm not pretending like it can't randomly happen, like right when they stop. However, there was a different spot they stopped, and someone could have seen them there, and no one did. There's a whole bunch of instances with Umi that could have had shit like that, and that didn't happen either. So I don't know about that. You know, I don't know about that. It's also worth mentioning that where they are is in the exact opposite direction from Mother Farm. From Kogewa, it's very easy to get to the railway museum in Oimiwa. It's a pretty popular place. I wonder if, in 443, Mommy will be praised by the instructor for carefully looking in the mirror, when in reality she's looking at him. That'd be really funny. The name of this particular city, Koigawa, consists of 3 kanji. I don't know what it means, but I found the same word in the dictionary, and it was written in kana. It means cross the river. Cross the river? Crossing the river. Koigawa. So Kawago. I'm trying to read it correctly. So Kawago can be read as crossing the river. Okay, let's open that real quick. So where they are right now is a city in Saitama Prefecture in Japan. The city is known locally as Little Edo. Okay. Little Edo is part of the ancient Musashi province, and the area was heavily contested between the later Hojo clan and the two branches of the Ozaki clan as they vied for control of the Kanto region. Huh. Okay, so this is an area where 2 things vie for control. That could have some relevance to this, like narratively. So it makes a lot of sense for like what's going on narratively for the characters, because you could say Ruka's vying for control and Mommy wants control. You could say some people think Umi is vying for control and what is it? And Minnie is vying for control. So there could be some stuff there. It culminated in the Battle of Kawago as the heavily outnumbered Hojo garrisons defeated in terms of siege of Kawago Castle. This victory would lead to the end of the Usagi power in the region and the near total destruction of the clan. I wonder if this has any connection to Oda. Just a random thought. I'm curious if there's like any connection to Oda. Okay, let's switch from the sleepy Kingdom Hearts music. That's still pretty sleepy. Oh, this song's insane. One of my favorite songs in 14. Let's fucking go. Let's see. Oh, chapter 418. The cover page is likely Candy Alley in Kawago. Kawago-ai? Kawago-ai? That's an interesting name. Kawago-ai. Kawago-ai. Okay. Oh, so that's why they were referring to that? So the cover from 418 where Minnie's taking a picture is in Kawago-ai. Like the letter A. A. Kawago-ai? Kawago-ai? I guess that makes it that feels a little better. So this is the place. Granted, the picture here kind of matches. Yeah, the picture there kind of matches. Yeah, I can see it. The picture definitely kind of matches. Not quite the same, but it's similar. I wonder if Frasier was foreshadowing this particular area then. Maybe this area is more important than we realize. Right? Especially this whole idea that there was this big battle there that was fought for control. And one particular side is like destroyed. That's interesting. Okay, let's read one other thing they wrote, and then we'll switch away. Okay, they only wrote 2 things for 432, so this works. Okay, even if a chapter seems less interesting at first glance, after reading it a few times, let's go to the actual chapter so we have a visual of what they're talking about. What kind of shops are on that alley? Just curious. I have no clue. I'd have to look carefully, so we'll hold off on that for now. If anyone wants to look in their free time, by all means, I'm gonna keep reading what they wrote. Okay. Even if a chapter seems less interesting at first glance, after reading it a few times and analyzing carefully, you can clearly get a lot out of it. The chapter does indeed seem like a setup, but at the same time, it's one big connector of many other chapters. Yeah, there was one thing I remembered in the morning that connected to the current chapter, and I forgot. And I'm kind of pissed. Because I had a good thing that connected to it, and I was like, wait, this makes so much sense, and then a bunch of shit happened and I forgot. Okay, number 1, Mommy. Mommy's bunny costume looks similar to the one Chizuru wore at the bunny cosplay event. I mean, most bunny costumes look similar. That's not really fair. I think you could say it's a callback to that, sure. The circle is complete now. All the girls have been depicted as rabbits. Minnie, Ruka, Mommy, Sumi, Chizuru. Yeah, okay, fair. Bunny Girls. Mommy on the cover of chapter 432, Sumi on the cover of 415, Minnie on the cover of 337, Ruka on the cover of 64. Oh yeah, Ruka had one in 64. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, Ruka did have one in 364, and then Chizuru also had a different one. Yeah, they're right. I knew Ruka had one too, I just didn't remember where. Let's see, 64. Yep. Ruka in 364, right, with the bunny girl one. This is also the chapter where she tried to, sleep with him. At the same time, there's the recent one we had, a few chapters ago. And then Chizuru cover in volume 37, and the cosplay arc. I feel like Chizuru has had another one. I'm not crazy, right? Besides the cosplay arc cover and volume 37, I feel like she's had another one. By the way, I do want to point something out to you. Look at how Mommy looks. Okay, look at how I want you to take a, burn this into your memory for a sec. I know some people love this. Burn this into your memory for a sec. I want you to look at the pose. It's not the same, but she's literally putting her arm behind her back, too. The Mommy pose here is very Chizuru-esque. That's what I meant. The Mommy pose is very Chizuru-esque. It's just faced differently. Okay, let's continue with reading what they wrote. Okay. Fluffy Bunnies, chapter cover 311, Ruka cover 3424. I suspect there may be one more girl in fluffy bunny costumes in the future. I wouldn't be surprised if Mommy, who likes to keep up with things online, will see photos from a cosplay event posted online. I don't know if Mommy keeps up with events. I would agree if you said Mommy doom scrolls. I would agree if you said Mommy doom scrolls. Mommy does not keep up with things. Is this Nier music? It fucking is. Oh my god, it's the near boss fight from 14. Yeah, but I'm not crazy about it. What's this one? Vector to the heavens. Oh, that's sad as fuck. I'll pass. This one's good, but not feeling it. Genova's always peak. I'm always down for Genova. Okay. Where were we? Why isn't it loading? What the fuck? Hey, pull my shit up. Where's my shit? Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm dumb. Okay. Let's see. Mommy dress for the future is somewhat reminiscent of Sumi's style, and Sumi also sat closer to Kazuya during their date. Yes and no. Yes and no. It's the black motif absolutely fits Sumi. I consent to that. Sumi would never dress like this. This is too open for Sumi. Her pose, though, look at how she's posing. That, like, hands in front, like, kind of showing everything. Very courteous. Like, Mommy seems very respectful. Like, it gives you a very respectful vibe from Mommy, which is just, you know, not her thing. But yeah, that is something I did want to point out. I can see Sumi-esqueness, but it's absolutely not Sumi. I would say, here's a good comparison. I know a great comparison to strike for you. I actually have something that I could compare this to for you. Here. This is probably why it makes you think of Sumi. Ta-da! It's this aspect. See how this looks? But Sumi would always wear something here. That's the thing. Sumi would always wear something here. Sumi always covers up. Like, no matter what, Sumi always covers up. Sumi's very modest. She'll always, like, cover up, right? So you can see, like, a similarity here, right? So you can see, like, a silhouette similarity. Absolutely. I'm not going to pretend like there isn't a silhouette similarity. It's there. Except Sumi's is much more covered up, right? Sumi's is significantly more covered up. Whereas Mommy's is just significantly more revealing, right? She's literally... Reiji said this in an interview. Mommy tends to show her collarbone. She tends to show her shoulders, right? That, like, she's very petite, so it works for her figure. Okay. Her triangle-shaped earrings resemble Chizuru's earrings from that time where she was lost in thought. Then she missed the station. Not quite. So I know what you're referring to. So look at this. These are triangle-shaped. The earrings he's referring to with Chizuru are pentagons. I'm pretty sure they were pentagons. I think it was chapter 405. Right? Oh, shit. No, it was a triangle. Wait, what the fuck? Wait, this actually looks really similar. What the fuck? Wait. I was looking at the pentagon. Oh, white earrings. Right, so she has white earrings. And then she has black earrings. God, they literally are just opposites. Or like two sides of the same coin. My God. Okay. They were actually made up of many triangles. I think in the next chapter, when Mommy gets behind the wheel, she'll also get distracted and miss the highway exit, or it will be in the same home from the driving school. There's also... Well, Mommy doesn't know. We've yet to see Mommy actually get distracted like this when actually working. There's also a chance that accidentally missing the station will lead to some kind of encounter. Oh, so you're saying she would mirror Chizuru in missing something. In being distracted about Kazuya. Okay, fair credit. Credit where credit is due. That's totally possible. There's also a chance that accidentally missing the station will lead to some kind of encounter, or that mommy will find out where Kazuya lives now. Maybe she'll walk into his room. Okay, that's okay. You had a good thing going, and then you dug too deep. This would be a reversal from the scene from chapter 60 when Kazuya and Chizuru were hiding from mommy. So you think mommy would go into Kazuya's house and now they would hide from Chizuru, but Chizuru doesn't know where he lives. Chizuru doesn't know where he lives, so how would that work? Right, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Right now, the last thing Kazuya wants is for Chizuru to see him with mommy. It would make more sense if they were out and about and Chizuru almost sees them. That would make more sense. Maybe Chizuru won't come into the apartment. Okay, well, anyways. Mommy gives Kazuya a keychain, just as Chizuru had given him a fish-shaped keychain, just as Ruka had given him a ribbon-shaped keychain. But was it a keychain or was it a charm? Like, the thing she gives him was pretty big. Look at, this thing's big. Right, this thing's kind of big. I don't know if I would call this a keychain. Like, it's pretty big. The fact that it's a gift is a parallel, absolutely. Right? The fact that it's a gift is also a parallel. So, and that is interesting, right? With Chizuru, she gives him the Nemo keychain. There is a connection there, right? It's very clear, like, for Ruka, it's something she wanted to give him very particularly. With Chizuru, there's a history behind the fish keychain, but Chizuru was, like, kind of side by side about it. She wasn't very direct about, like, this is a gift. She's just like, you can have it, right? Or it's like a parting gift, something like that. With mommy, she says it's a gift, and Kazuya just doesn't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it, right? So to us, it's like, oh, mommy's clearly in love. But if you look at it from Kazuya's perspective, mommy is being really vague, right? Like, she's giving him gifts, she's interacting with him, and yeah, she did ask him, am I in love with you? Which should have, like, very much given him a hint. But Kazuya is being quite careless. So let's see. I'm glad she got me a gift. I feel like it has something to do with the red bean bun, but at the same time, it doesn't. But I doubt this is an answer to my question. I seriously don't get it, right? What did he ask, right, about the red bean bun? And then to distract from that, she gives him this. Right? To distract from the question, she gives him this, and that doesn't answer his question. Well, I guess this means she doesn't intend to give me an answer. Why is he in shadows here? This part is interesting. Why is he in shadows here? Because he's kind of right. But I guess she also did give him an answer in giving him a gift. Right? She didn't answer the question, correct. But she answered by giving him a gift. And he didn't understand the sign, right? In the gift that she gave him? Because the gift indicates interest? As usual, Mami-chan doesn't talk. This is so awkward. I need another topic. Right, and this is interesting. This is kind of like a reversal of the Chizuru thing, where he kind of doesn't talk. Yet at the same time, it's kind of like Chizuru too. Wouldn't be surprised if we cut to the next day. You know, I actually agree. I would not be surprised if we just kind of cut to the next day. Just happens. You know, we never even get into it. That's kind of been a pattern with Reiji. She's not seeing the real him. She doesn't understand him. No. Why is Kazuya in shadow? Right? Why is Kazuya in shadow here? It's not about her. It almost indicates he doesn't understand something. Which makes sense. Like, there's something he clearly doesn't understand. Or maybe he's invisible to her? Okay. Let me drink some water. Okay. Mommy's question about whether she's cute is similar to Chizuru's question in 312, the cosplay arc. Was she cute? Oh, I didn't even piece that together. Of course, that makes sense. Fuck. How did I not piece that together? Fuck. No, he's right. He's right. I didn't piece that together. Yeah, in 312, when Kazuya helps out the other girl, was she cute? She asks him if the other girl was cute. I didn't even think of that. Shit. And then when he says, yeah, she was, he misses the point. And he's confused about what Chizuru wanted. And then Minnie clarifies. It's the opposite of that. I think there's an intention behind the bunny girl reference. Specifically because the whole bunny girl element is about being seen, right? They are literally an object of desire, right? That's kind of what bunny girls are. So, what's her name? Mommy, being presented as a bunny girl in the cover, reflects what she wants to do in the chapter, which is to be desired. Here, Chizuru is pretty much like, you see her literally posing, right? And she wishes to be desired by him. So she asks him, was she cute? Instead of saying, am I cute? Right? But it reflects the fact that she doesn't feel seen. Right? And what happens in the chapter, Chizuru literally poses for a picture. What happens in the chapter, Chizuru literally poses for a picture like a pro. But when she comes up to Kazuya, she doesn't pose. Right? When she's posing, yeah, it's kind of like for Kazuya, absolutely. Right? It literally looks like she's looking at him. However, she's posing for a camera. Mommy, in contrast, is posing for a picture Kazuya isn't even looking at. Right? So here, Kazuya is looking at this picture, but Chizuru doesn't realize she's being seen. So she asks him the question, was she cute? Instead of, was I cute? Because she doesn't think she's being seen. Mommy is the opposite. She's not being seen. She desires for him to look at her, and yet he doesn't, and she still stays posing. She poses for a camera for a shutter that will never face her way. Whereas Chizuru has the camera literally facing her way, the lens that she desires, but she doesn't see it. They're kind of like flipped. They're literally like two sides of the same coin. That's a good catch. However, Chizuru isn't asking Kazuya if he thinks she's cute. She's asking about the cosplayer girl. By the way, the cosplayer girl was dressed as a succubus, some sort of demoness. This might connect to chapter 344 because in that cover, Mommy is also dressed as a demon. So for Mommy, she was specifically dressed as... So I know what you're referring to. I'll show it here. All right, so this girl was kind of dressed like a demon, right? You can literally see it, and she's an actual person. She's an actual actress, or not an actress. She's an actual real-life cosplayer that does cosplay of Chizuru, and Reiji included her in the manga because she's such a big fan. In 344, which is what he's referring to, this is Mami, right? However, it's specifically, we saw the text for this. She's not, oh, someone to ban, sorry. Just gotta ban someone real quick. They're gone. Continuing with this usual shenanigans. Okay. So Mami here is not simply a succubus. She is, it's a reference to Super Sentai. So, like, Power Rangers and shit. And usually, like, the villainous kind of look like that. But what made this more interesting to me was the shattering, right? The literal background behind her shattering like glass. That was really what's interesting to me. So that's kind of what I wanted to point out. However, it's similar but not quite the same, right? It seems like Minnie is trying to protect Kazuya from Mami here, and the framing of this is ironically very similar to interestingly to a cover with Umi during the movie arc. So if you're curious what I'm referring to. Right? There's a similarity here. There's absolutely a similarity here. Right? It's pretty similar. However, Minnie is protecting him from something he doesn't need protection from. Right? Just as Kazuya at the time, like... yeah, I don't know. I felt like Kazuya was like... He was kind of protecting Chizuru, but he was just giving her a warning and she protected herself. In this particular case, Minnie wasn't really doing any protecting. She was just surprised that she's his ex-girlfriend. So maybe this is an image shattering, whereas that image is accurate. Right? So this image is inaccurate because of the way the background is shattering. Whereas that image is probably more accurate. Right? So nothing is breaking here. Right? Whereas the background here is just... It's like it's literally tearing apart. So something about this is not accurate, right? And I think that has to do with Kazuya's realization that his feelings for Mami are not there. If I ever saw Mami again, I thought I'd hesitate more. I thought that her cuteness would overwhelm me and I'd get weak and flustered. I thought I'd be a mess like before, but that didn't happen. Right? So the feeling for Chizuru never changes. Interesting that this seems to parallel his realization after he beats his meat to Ruka. Right? The consistency of his feelings for Chizuru. Strange. Okay. The cosplayer girl... Okay, we've read this. Chizuru, on the other hand, is on the cover of chapter 62. Mami where she appears like a demoness or, yeah, like a vampire. Mami appears in both 344 and 62. In 432, Mami is like a succubus. Her looks and dress draws attention. I don't know if I would call it a succubus, but yes, it is drawing attention. That is the intention. That's what she wants. She wants to be seen. I think my family's here. Give me a sec. Sorry about that. She did some shopping, so I was just helping her organize. Okay, I'm kind of tired of Resident Evil music. We gotta change it up a little bit. What to listen to? What to listen to? Oh, you ready for Final Fantasy DRM? Oh my god. Or sorry, EDM. God, I said DRM. EDM. DRM is bad. No, it's fucking EDM. My brain. I don't know what it is with Final Fantasy 14, but every time you like fight creatures from the fucking void, they're like, you know what? Let's give them an EDM soundtrack. Okay. Kazuya and food. Okay. What about Kazuya and food? The speedometer on the dashboard reads 79 kilometers per hour, which matches Ruka's heart rate at 79 BPM. Yeah, that's a whole thing. JoJo has also mentioned it's related to chapter 79. We're gonna read JoJo's theory later, and we're gonna see how he connects it. I bet he mentioned it. Like, I would not be surprised if he didn't mention it. We'll get into that. I don't remember what chapter 79 is. I'll be real. I do not remember. I think it might be around Kazuya's birthday, so that could be the connection. No, is it Kazuya's birthday? It's either the end of the dream date, somewhere in the middle of the dream date, or Kazuya's birthday. Send something on Discord. I read what you wrote on Discord. Unless you sent me something else. As the driver, Kazuya is responsible for his own life, as well as the lives of the passengers and others. That parallels how Kazuya is also responsible for Ruka raising her heart rate. It's partially Ruka's fault, but also Kazuya's, who keeps pushing forward. You could say he's speeding up, without realizing that Ruka isn't able to keep up with him. True, Kazuya is doing a lot of physical work. Okay. And that's something I've said too. That's something I've said too in relation to Kazuya, that like there is this issue that like he's not conscious of anything Ruka's going on through, and he's just assuming she's okay, not realizing how like she could have a heart rate problem, and that's something he just never bothered to look into. Like, granted, Ruka's hiding it, but it's also something like he should learn about, you know? Ruka hiding the fact that she has a heart condition isn't too dissimilar from Chizuru hiding the fact that she had like those blisters that were so bad that she couldn't fucking walk during the date. These are things he needs to start asking about and learning about. It's the same thing with Mommy, where Mommy has her entire backstory, you know? Mommy has her entire backstory that Kazuya has seen glimpses of, but yet again, he does not ask. Minnie, he asks, right? Minnie's like one of the few that he actually asks, right? Minnie, he actually asks about her backstory a little bit. Granted, she doesn't tell him much, right? But Minnie also has an issue that he should be aware of, that like, okay, Minnie's clearly too involved, right? Minnie's clearly way too involved and needs to ask a little more of why she's so involved, or like check on her and stuff like that. Then you have Sumi, who clearly has some feelings for him, right? He doesn't know, but he should check. You know, if someone says something like that, like what she said during the date, don't go assuming. Kazuya is eating something again, and once more, it's not the best choice for working out. Which, by the way, strangely enough, I was watching. I'm rewatching Hajime no Ippo. I've watched Hajime no Ippo like 2 times or 3 times, and I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll just rewatch it. I've been watching Baki. I seem to be into fighting shit right now. I'm even considering reading the manga. Why do I bring this up? Because every time after like a big fight or some shit, they go and eat ramen. Now, granted, Hajime no Ippo has a lot of stupid shit, that is just not realistic to boxing. Like, I know a lot of boxers and people who have, like, actually been into boxing who don't like Hajime no Ippo, specifically because of, like, how it handles the actual boxing, where the characters just fucking destroy their bodies fighting each other. And it's like, no, that's not boxing. That's literally not boxing. You're not just, like, fucking killing yourselves constantly. Like, that's the problem with, like, at least for me later on, is, like, what I've noticed. And so that's maybe not realistic, them eating fucking ramen after working out, especially when they gotta watch their diet. However, if you're trying to get carbs, it's not necessarily a bad idea, right? If you're trying to get carbs for your muscles, not necessarily a bad idea. So, I don't know. I don't know if ramen is a good choice, because Kazuya was eating ramen too. Ice cream, though, absolutely not. Right? If you're trying to, like, build muscle, manage your weight and shit like that, don't eat fucking ice cream. Right? So, yeah. Not the best choice for working out. Just like he ate the ramen the other day, now he's eating ice cream. That's most likely just high in sugar. Sugar fits mommy because she's just like sugar herself. Yeah, that's literally in her... That's literally in her character song for the anime. What she does, she treats it like honey. She treats it like she's giving you honey, and it's tempting you with honey. Kazuya is so absorbed in his thoughts that he doesn't notice his ice cream wobbling and nearly falling apart. Don't eat melted ice cream. It can cause food poisoning. Plus, this ice cream is spiral-shaped. No. It's not simply melted ice cream can cause food poisoning. No. That's not quite accurate. It's specifically like when an ice cream, like, I think, I could be wrong, but from what I recall, the way I understood it, it's like when the ice cream melts and you refreeze it, that's bad. So don't, like, let the ice cream melt and refreeze it and then melt again. That's not a good thing. However, the ice cream melting and you eating it, I don't see there's a problem with that. Theoretically, it could, but not like this. Like, it's just a little melted. It's not so melted that it's, like, out of shape. So I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think that's yeah. The ice cream is spiral shaped. Well, the ice cream has always been spiral. I think. Actually, wait. I just have a theory right now. The ice cream falling apart actually reflects his stability falling apart. Here we go. It's in the shape of a spiral. And his spiral is literally tilting over. Right? The tower that he's established for himself is literally starting to tilt over. And it's falling over. Right? So the stability that was once there is crumbling under the heat, if you will. So I think maybe that's what this is. Right? The ice cream tumbling over, it literally reflects Kazuya's stability tumbling over. On top of that, for some strange reason, Kazuya starts eating from the bottom when it would make more sense to start from the top. Yeah, he does have... Right? And that's Kazuya's... That's the thing Minnie described too, isn't it? Instead of... He already has the thing in his hand. Rather than eating it normally, he eats it the wrong way, so it's like spilling all over his face. Right? He's approaching it in a harder way rather than an easier way. Kazuya's t-shirt says Genki, which means healthy, but also vigor, stamina, energy, vitality, stamina. Genki. Mommy also says that eating from the bottom is like eating crab. It's like you're eating crab. This ties in with the date in chapter 162 when Chizuru feeds Kazuya with some crab. True. Yeah, I kind of was thinking about that too. But I didn't quite, like... The reason I didn't mention it is because, like, how does it connect? But I can see it. It is kind of like you're eating crab. Crab is expensive. Kazuya was fed crab by someone who would certainly have preferred something cheap, like ice cream from a vending machine. Here, Kazuya eats cheap ice cream. I also have a hunch that the conversation about the crab might actually be alluding to Taro Urashima, Mommy's ex-boyfriend. After all, Taru Urashima from the legend was a fisherman. From what I heard, fishermen who catch crabs can make a lot of money. Yeah, but he was like nice to the animals or some shit like that. I think it like it's a very indirect nod, but yeah. Kazuya thinks of the red bean bun as well as white, squishy, and round, while Mami sees it differently, not to mention that it's sweet on the inside. Kazuya imagines that Chizuru is like a meat bun. Wait, does he say that? White, squishy, and round. That doesn't sound very attractive. No matter how hard you try, you'll always be a meat bun. No, Chizuru, he imagines Chizuru calling him a meat bun. Is that what he says? No, he imagines Chizuru calling him a meat bun. When in reality, Chizuru has a weakness for sweets like dagashi. You hear this during her period and the nighttime date on the 7-Eleven. It's also funny that the imaginary Chizuru mentions Chinatown. Go to Chinatown by yourself. Maybe the Chinese dress will make a comeback after all. Well, they sold it. They sold the Chinese dress. Or sorry, they donated it. Right, they donated it for the movie. Kazuya's questions about the red bean bun is somewhat reminiscent of the question from the Tiger's Den. Mommy felt embarrassed, just like Chizuru did when Kazuya tried to figure out what Umi was getting at. That's a bit of fishing. I see what you're saying, but a bit of fishing. Ruka, Umi, and chocolates. Umi mentioned something about chocolates. Whether it's an advertisement or a line from the drama, it will connect to the chocolates Chizuru gave Kazuya. Yep. The chocolate Chizuru gave Kazuya, that's something that definitely needs to be fucking addressed. It's just been sitting in his goddamn fridge the whole time. Okay. It was on their first date after she stopped ghosting him for 3 months. During those 3 months, Ruka visited Kazuya almost every day. I'm sure she looked in his fridge, and one day she probably noticed that the chocolates had appeared there. Well, no. Because after that point, she stopped coming over. So no, that's not what happened. The only time Ruka went to Kazuya's house after the 3 months was when she sexually assaulted him. It did not happen at any point after that. There's no proof that the chocolates are from Chizuru, but Ruka probably suspected as blah, blah, blah. Umi, once again, wearing a dark outfit, just like he was when Chizuru rejected him. So no, the outfit Umi's wearing, I'm surprised no one's mentioned it. The outfit Umi is wearing literally looks like a school outfit. Like, look at this man. He looks like he's out of Persona 4. My dude. He looks like the Persona 4 protagonist, motherfucker. He literally looks like the Persona 4 protagonist. What do you mean? What do you mean? Can you see him? I hope you can see him. I'm not blocking him. Like, he literally looks like the Persona 4 protagonist. What do you fucking mean? Look at this guy. Look at this motherfucker. No, he's clearly... It looks like he's wearing a school outfit to me. To me, Umi looks like he's wearing a school outfit. Right? And it makes a lot of sense because that's like a... It's probably meant to be romantic, like what he's presenting. Like he's perfectly posing for some sort of romantic shit. It reminds me of like... They also have a dancing They also have a dancing game. Right? They do literally have a dancing game for Persona. Persona 4 dancing. Right, and in Persona, like, a lot of what you can do is, like, you can be with all the girls, right? You give them chocolates and shit. God, where is it? Oh, that's that good shit, bro. Oh my god, that's really good. Fuck. Persona 4 dancing, brother. Persona 4 dancing. I don't remember this dude's name, by the way. I'm gonna be real. I never finished Persona 4. I started it. I didn't quite click with it. I'm probably more inclined to give it a more of a chance now. I'll be real. Sorry, I figured I'll clean my glasses. Okay. So 2 people sent me something on Discord. Please don't write me a fucking essay. I already gotta read JoJo and Varicus. I already gotta read both of them. So, try to take it easy on me, please. If it's too long, I might just stop. If it's interesting, I don't mind. You don't gotta? I wanna, bitch. You don't gotta? I wanna, bitch. Okay, what I'm listening to right now is one of my favorite trials in 14. Fucking Doom Train. Motherfucking Doom Train. And it's just EDM Doom Train, bro. I gotta play 14 on here at some point. I definitely gotta. People wrote me shit on Twitter. It's the OG music, right? So no, this music. So what this music is, it's a remix of the boss music from Final Fantasy IX. Except you don't fight Doom Train in Final Fantasy IX. He comes out in Final Fantasy VIII. The reason is, right now you're in a world based on Final Fantasy IX. So when you're fighting Doom Train, it plays the boss music from Final Fantasy IX. And it's like a remix. That's why. But Doom Train himself is from Final Fantasy VIII. He's a summon. Yeah. No, I never finished 9. I was, like, near the end. Like, last time I played 9, I was near the end. But that was in the PS3 era. It's been that long. It's been that long since I played 8 and since I played 9. Like, it's been a while. So I barely remember the 2. I was about to start 6. Right? The one everyone dick rides. Right? I was about to start 6. But I never got to. I do still own it on PS3. Which is just the PlayStation 1 Classic port. Okay. One parallel I found interesting is that both Mami and Ruka became observers, but in opposite ways. Okay. Mami chooses to observe. She has already walked past Kazuya, yet she re-engages with him. Ruka, on the other hand, doesn't seek out the moment. Umi appears on the TV, and the narrative pieces the image in front of her. It's a subtle contrast. One character moves forward. One character moves towards what she sees, while the other has. Well, yeah, Mami has actively created this. Like Kazuya mentions this. Mami has actively created the scenario to interact with him. She literally copied his schedule, right? Everywhere I look, there's trouble. I'm being bombarded with information. Do I look straight or behind? I don't know. I'm stressed out by the high speed as it is, right? So he doesn't know where to look, behind or forward, when it's kind of both, right? This is kind of a nod to driving as a whole, right? I don't know where to look, behind or in front. It's both, right? You constantly got to check behind you and check in front of you, right? Do I really need the extra stress from my ex-girlfriend riding in the back for whatever reason? Something he could mention to her. I knew it. She said it herself. She clearly copied my schedule. So Mami has gone out of her way to engage with Kazuya. She copied his schedule. She's hanging out with him. She's like staying with him constantly. Ruka, Umi shows up without even her trying to engage with him. He didn't contact her. He didn't copy her schedule. He's not even doing anything to her, and he just showed up anyway. And it's haunting her, right? Umi is haunting her in a similar way that Kazuya was haunting Mami. All right. while the other has something brought to her. Yeah, Ruka has something brought to her. Even though both scenes are built around looking, the source of the look is completely different. Okay. Bulver sent something as well. Oh. It's the same with Rascal Does Not Dream. There are multiple bunny girls, and they are all invisible to the world, not seen due to the adolescent syndrome. Oh. Okay, so the dressing momming is okay. Okay, I kind of see that. So it's like it could be a nod to that, right? Mommy's trying to be seen, but she's invisible. I see it. Okay, Bulver. That's a good one. That's a pretty good one. Okay. What's going on in YouTube chat? I just saw it as Mommy does not intend to answer him. It's all be later date. So oh, you're referring to this scene right here where Kazuya is in shadows. So it's just like he's oblivious. Every time the music drops like that, I just like, oh fuck yeah. Okay. Let's read YouTube chat. Alright, let's check how many people we got on Twitch. Oh, only 2? Damn. Oh well. It was inevitable. What can you do? Reiji doing everything to make me like Mommy again. Yeah, we talked about... So, I don't know if you're still here, Noah. We talked about this extensively last stream. Very extensively, I talked about this. That's very intentional. He really wants you to look at Mommy in a positive way. Not just to make you like her, but specifically to challenge your viewpoint. Every time Fate says what... wait, I just think of the Punisher. Oh, wait. You know what is Mommy gonna end up secretly thinking of the beach arc where Kazuya didn't meet up with her at the indoor pool? Yeah, there's a lot of things to look back on, so I don't know. If Minnie were to catch Kazuya and Mommy in the same car, it would need to be more comedic. Like the instructor says, I wanna go food pool over here, and you just gotta see Minnie break it. Begging for a job. Minnie broke begging for a job. That doesn't sound like Minnie. It's Minnie versus Kazuya for control. Minnie finally will realize that Kazuya must be in charge of the decision moving forward. I don't know about that. In a way, Kazuya is practicing driving in the highway with a cute girl. So therefore, in the real driving date, maybe Kazuya will not freak the fuck out when Chizuru is on the passenger. Again, I have been saying this for a hot minute. I think everything is going to go well. And that is the problem. Everything is going to go perfectly. And that is the problem. You want to know why? That's literally what happened in Odaiba. It's just what happened in Odaiba. But the reason it would happen in a similar way, just more extreme, is because Odaiba was never understood. You never understood what went wrong in Odaiba. You never cleared it up. So naturally, you're just gonna try again in a similar way, but more extreme. And everything is gonna go well. And you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Why didn't it work? I just think everything is gonna go fine, and then at some point there's gonna be like this jadedness, there's this emptiness that's gonna return. Whether that happens as Kazuya draws closer to the date, or it happens during the date, I don't know. I do think as Kazuya draws closer, we're definitely going to start seeing this like loss and this confusion in him. Something that we saw is rooted in the hero's journey a bit. I doubt we will still driving next chapter because we cut to Ruka's house at the nighttime. Is it night? Or is it turning night? Yep. No, it's over. Oh, yeah. No, next chapter, we're going to probably cut to Ruka at night. Or at the very least, the next day. Yeah. I doubt we're going to see Mommy's side. Yeah, I don't think so. A huge portion of what's been going on is we don't see the other characters, like, sides of the story. Oh, finally. Get rid of that. Have you know when you have your finger and like your skin like peels on the side of your finger and then it just fucking hurts a lot? Yeah, that's what was going on. I feel like Kazuya is in shadows because he was expecting a helpful answer, but Mommy is too vague with no meaning behind her words. Yeah, so he's literally just oblivious. So that's why he's in shadows. Kazuya's temptation is the ice cream represented in Mommy, and Ruka's temptation, the chocolate represented by Umi. Yeah. Bunny girls refer to Playboy magazines. Yes and no. Mostly because, like, yes, bunny girls are object of desires, right? That's literally kind of what they reflect. They're an object of desire. So it's horny shit. But not just that. It's not simply just that. They can reflect loneliness, right? Because of how Chizuru talks about bunny girls at the start of the series, or sorry, not bunny girls, bunnies or rabbits at the start of the series, where, you know, a lonely rabbit in a cage. So loneliness. It also has a connotation of wishing to be seen and desired, things we talked about later. Is anyone else font text bigger font? What? Okay. Amazon's God of War series has stopped filming. The actor for Kratos tore his biceps, and the filming may not resume till next year. Jesus. Yeah, that stuff's always brutal, right? When the actor gets hurt, the entire show is fucked, right? And you just gotta stop. You can't do anything. Sumi only sees the White Knight, not his bad side. Yeah, we've talked about this. I'm not seeing Ashitano Joe. But people say it's better than Hajime no Ippo. Isn't that the one that's like memed to death? Isn't that the one that's like memed to fucking death? Yep, it's the one that's memed to death. Here's the meme. Here's the meme. No, there is one I kind of liked, which made more sense than Hajime no Ippo, is the main character is also called Joe. Joe boxing anime. No, not that one. Wait, is this a remake of it? Yeah, Gearless Joe from Megalobox. That's the other one I liked. I liked Megalobox because like it had a lot of like social and cultural issues that it was talking about through boxing. I never saw season 2. I saw season 1 of Megalobox and it was pretty good. I never saw season 2. I've never seen Ashino Joe. I will say Hajime no Ippo is a fun show. It is genuinely a fun show. I just don't always like how the boxing is handled. Like for example, here's a great example. Ippo's Dempsey roll. That's not how the Dempsey roll works. The way Ippo does the Dempsey roll is idiotic. That's not how the Dempsey roll, that's not how fucking physics works. Okay? No, the Dempsey roll is a bop and weave as you're moving. Like, if you see Mike Tyson do the Dempsey roll, it's fucking terrifying because it's this giant dude, like, bopping and weaving towards you. And he's literally, like, in your face. You are about to die. It is horrifying. Okay? So the way Ippo does it is dumb because he's just standing in place. And he's bopping, like, over and over. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then they had that one match where he, like, stops mid-motion. And it's like, what the hell is this? So that's what I mean. It's like, Ippo is interesting because at first it really does start out like it represents boxing. The creator of Hajime no Ippo really likes boxing. He has his own boxing gym and shit, apparently. But the way it's depicted in the manga is utterly silly. Like, especially with Ippo's character. Like, when you first start Hajime no Ippo, it's very grounded. And then as you continue, it just gets sillier and sillier. And not in a way that makes a whole lot of sense. You know? So that's my issue with Hajime no Ippo, is just like, it's a manga created with the love for boxing. It's a very, like, core shonen battle manga. It's very, very core shonen battle manga. And yet at the same time, like, the way it depicts boxing is just utterly silly. And I would say even Baki does a better job of depicting martial arts and boxing than Hajime no Ippo, in my opinion. But that's just my stance. This doesn't change the fact that I do like Hajime no Ippo. Like, the fact that I can just put this show on and have fun watching it, goes to its credit that it is an engaging show. And I am considering reading the manga because I heard, like, some stuff happens that's really interesting. So I'll get into that later. It's almost like Kazuya is, doing things the hard way. It's saying he needs to challenge to rise above the otherwise he doesn't function. Alaskan king crab fishermen generate millions every yearly season, divide amongst the crew. Okay, so imagine him. Okay, so imagine Mommy learns where Kazuya lives, eat later, and she eats Chizuru's chocolate. Why was she, what? Umi out here about to sing Soda Pop. Oh my god, we were thinking the same thing! Oh my god, we were thinking the same fucking thing! For those who don't know, you're my little Soda Pop. Oh my god, we were literally thinking the same thing. K-pop Demon Hunters is a really fun show or movie. You should really watch it. There's literally like a fucking boy band that sing a song called "You're My Little Soda Pop." Just straight up this, or it's just called Soda Pop. That's literally what I was thinking. That's so funny. Ugh, AI slop. I turn one page and immediately AI slop. I guess you could say Mommy is a passenger princess this chapter. I said something again. I'll read it in a bit. Johan, did Ruka give up on Kazuya? No. No. I don't know where you're getting this. No. I think you asked this last time, too. If anything, I think she's even more sure of her feelings for him. It's quite the opposite. I think Ruka might be willing to do something worse just to be with him. No, Ruka absolutely did not give up. She just doesn't know how she wants to move because what she wants to do might be wrong. Physics doesn't mean shit in anime. No, 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 no. Of course, there are... Anime can defy physics in interesting ways. The problem with Hajime no Ippo is that it's trying to be realistic. And a lot of times, it is realistic in how it depicts things. I'm just saying, I don't know why the Dempsey role is depicted like that. It's nonsensical. Like, literally, I know martial artists. I've done martial arts. There's a lot that Hajime no Ippo does correctly, and it's really cool. I just don't understand why it's depicted that way. It could be depicted in a much cooler way. And it's depicted in a really dumb way. That's what I'm saying. It also just doesn't make sense. Like, it just seems really silly. Like, they make it look cool. I think the anime absolutely makes it look really fucking cool. I'm not gonna pretend like that's not the case. But there are times where, like, anime defies physics, absolutely, but does it in a cool way that you kind of subvert your suspension of disbelief. I'm just saying Hajime no Ippo, I think, at times fails that, especially with the Dempsey role. Right? Like, I always thought that was dumb. It made no sense. Even before I did, like, martial arts. Or actually, wait, I did martial arts since I was a kid, so that doesn't... Never mind, forgo that. I know friends who did not do martial arts, and they agree with me. Boom, there we go. Because that is true. I actually have one of my best friends in California. He has never done martial arts in his life. He's like, it looks fucking stupid. And I was like, yes, he agrees with me. Do you think Baki fighting his father was... What? Do you think Baki fighting his father was the best part? I mean, it was the culmination of everything. So yes, it was pretty great. I like the Musashi fights. The Musashi fights were pretty good. I was surprised when they killed my favorite character. I'm like, what the fuck? I was surprised. They just fucking killed people. Musashi out here gutting folks. He called everybody a clown and then literally proceeded to fucking shit all over them. My favorite thing from Baki. Ironically, most of it wasn't the fighting. It was just the complex relationship Baki had with his family. And, like, how he forms relationships. Favorite fight? I like his fight with, Olivia, or Oliver. Biscuit Oliver. His fight with Biscuit Oliver was pretty great. Yeah, I like a decent amount of the Musashi fights too. Definitely cooking more today than in the last 2 months. I think everybody has been cooking a little more. You guys are probably taking all my energy. I haven't been cooking a whole lot lately. Well, I cook based on other people's cooks. I take the recipe and adapt. I feel like Ruka is going to do something bad to Umi in public setting to where it's viewed as humiliating to all who witness the act. I think that's... you know what? I kind of agree. Because that's kind of something that low-key happened to him, like, earlier. Where Umi took the brunt of, like, Ruka's yelling in public. And, you know, he didn't seem to care as much, but there were, like, hints, oh, this could be bad if Ruka goes further. Right? She was literally talking about spreading half-truths about him, and it literally already started. I think there's a possibility Ruka could really do that. In order for Mommy to fully be redeemed, does she need to take accountability for her past actions? Yes. Period. Yes. What Reiji is doing is getting you to like Mommy's character. However, it disguises the twisted truth underneath it all. But it also shows that Mommy can be a good character, can be a good girl, can be this cute, adorable thing that you fucking love. She's a cutie fucking patootie, right? But in order for us to truly accept this aspect of Mommy's character, she must address what she did. So these things cannot be so tainted. Right? You remove the aspect that taints this cuteness. Mommy's cuteness here is really fucking adorable. But it's a little tainted. For me to truly appreciate this aspect of Mommy's character, I would need to, like, view it in a way that's not, like, tainted by not just her past, but what she's doing right now, which is trying to get Kazuya to look at her when he likes someone else. And she knows he likes someone else. It's a layered thing, you know, and it's not just simply redemption. It's not just redemption for Mommy's character. It's facing herself and not redeeming herself to us, but atoning. I would say atonement is the big thing for Mommy's character, not simply just redemption. Does Mommy know she did something horrible in Hawaiians? Yes, but she's avoiding it. That's the difference between her and Ruka. Ruka, somewhere deep down, probably knows what she's done is wrong. Mommy knows. Not deep down, she's aware. And she's actively avoiding it. She's pretending it isn't there. Ruka is merely coming to terms with the fact that she's done wrong things, and she's, like, starting to look at them a little differently. Alright? Mommy knows she did wrong shit, and she's just pretending it's not there. She gives herself excuses. I wasn't gonna do this, I wasn't gonna do that. No, you fucking were. Right? Just accept that. Ooh. So it's playing... I always fuck up how to pronounce this. Oscarita del Nato. L'Oscarita del Nato. Which is Latin for Darkness of the Unknown. It's the theme of the final boss of Kingdom Hearts 2 remixed for this game. And it's like completely different in structure. It's really cool. It's probably my favorite version. Like, this motherfucker, this theme song for this motherfucker, he throws buildings at you. He straight up has gravity powers and just throws buildings at you, and he's a Sith Lord. I mean, he straight up has lightsabers. Like, I cannot wait till we get to this man. This motherfucker has lightsabers that he can fire at you. He can literally set them up in the air and fire them at you. We already kind of fought him in Kingdom Hearts 1. He was the secret boss in Kingdom Hearts 1, but Kingdom Hearts 2, he's so much cooler. Okay, I'm going to read 2 more things, and then we're going to go to Reddit. We've put off Reddit for a little too long. I think in order to begin, is Chizuru feels like what she has done is wrong. And Chizuru feels like what she has done is wrong. And that's the thing. It's like Chizuru is a victim, and she hates herself for what she's done. But at the same time, you have to recognize how she's a victim in all of this. All you have seen is the perpetrator. All you have seen is the abuser. You don't see the victim. Mommy, you're starting to see the victim, but you're missing the abuser. They're kind of flipped, right? Mommy, you're seeing the victim, you're seeing the cutie patootie, but you're ignoring the fact that you're not seeing the abuser. Chizuru, all you see is the abuser. You don't see the victim. Okay. I think in order to begin atonement, she needs to address her issues with her own family, as is the single biggest thing eating her alive besides Kazuya. I think you could work it a little backwards. So she could be confronted with what she's done in Hawaiians. In so doing, confront her environment and how she's let her environment control her, and how that let Hawaiians become what it was. And so you kind of like work it backwards. He's gonna cook you. Be ready. Who am I gonna cook? Okay, I'm sorry, sent something else in. Okay, I gotta go because sometimes you just gotta write. Yeah, no, sometimes I just fucking write shit, bro. I get it. Okay, notice chapter 431 ends with Chizuru looking at herself in the TV and Kazuya doing the same after noticing his gym pump is gone in the mirror. Both moments are acts of self-perception. Yeah. Then in chapter 432, opens with Kazuya observing Mommy and then Mommy observing him. The mirror disappears, but it reappears. But its narrative function doesn't. He cooked. He cooked. Not quite. The mirror did not disappear. What you're looking at in the mirror is not the same thing. What you see when you look in the mirror, right? When you look at yourself in the mirror, you may not see reality. When you look in the mirror to see something else, you may not see what's actually there. Right? So the first element of growth is looking at yourself, reflecting at yourself. Right? The first element of growth is to reflect on yourself. You see Kazuya literally look at his own reflection. You see Chizuru looking at herself in the TV. She's reflecting, right? But they're both not reflecting at certain aspects of reality, right? Chizuru is reflecting on her play correctly, absolutely. She's not able to reflect on Ruka correctly. Kazuya looks at himself in the mirror, and what happens to him? He's not seeing reality accurately. What he's seeing is real, but it doesn't represent the true reality, right? So when he gets to the end and he looks at himself again, he sees the truth, right? So it's this element of true reflection. You get to chapter 2, right? So part 2 of growth. What happens? This time when he looks in the mirror, he's not looking at himself. He's looking at someone else. How do other people perceive you in the mirror? And just like Chizuru, who looks at a TV screen in the end of last chapter, Ruka also looks at a TV screen at the end of the chapter. However, Ruka is not reflecting on herself. She's reflecting at something else, right? How does Umi appear in the screen versus how she interacted with him? Versus how Chizuru reflects on herself by looking at herself in the past. Right? Two completely different things. How others appear through a mirror versus how you appear in the mirror. Okay. A mirror can only show how a character sees themselves. Another person's gaze reveals how the self-image is tested once it enters the outside world. The chapter's narrative quietly shifts from how the characters see themselves in 431 to how others see them in 432. Specifically, how they appear in the mirror. Right? Not simply how they appear in the mirror. Right? The image others see in the mirror versus the image you see in the mirror. Right? The image of reflection. Right? Okay. It's interesting that when we see Kazuya through a girl's POV, he looks put together and handsome. But when he portrays himself, he looks goofy. Yeah. But the goofiness is part of him. So Chizuru actually being able to laugh at Kazuya is great because she sees the goofiness and accepts it. Okay. This is the music I was listening to when I was reading How to Be a Relationship, I'm not gonna lie. Right? And it made sense because they're literally in a rock band. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a little soda for myself, just because I need a bit of sugar to get the brain moving. Turn off the music. I just kind of need a. I can keep it running for you guys. I can keep the music running for you guys. Yeah, I can maybe switch back to Resident Evil or something. Yeah, there we go. I just need a change of pace, so I'm a little tired of the music. I need something else. Yeah, this is better. Sometimes like when I have something on my ears, like it's like, how do I describe it? It literally like feels like my ears are getting hot, and I get like tired and shit. So I just don't like that. Plus, soda helps me focus. Granted, like Coke and shit works a little better than like non-caffeinated, but I don't want caffeinated right now. It's like 6:30. I gotta go to bed in like 2 hours. Ah, stupendous. Okay. Oh, you just wrote what Mute wrote? Oh, that's cool. People are just writing what Mute wrote. That's fucking hilarious. Just copy pasta. Just copy pasta Mute's shit. That's so funny. Whoa, that's a big one. I think you may have unintentionally summarized not just the chapter of the entire manga. Visually strong, emotionally interesting, and narratively drawn out. So disagree. So disagree. So disagree. But that's my stance, and people will disagree with me, but whatever. Okay, we can start with Top Hat Paladin. Paladin had some interesting takes. I don't agree with everything. I felt like recently his takes weren't that interesting, but sometimes he hits it on the mark. Okay. Mommy's goals were initially somewhat difficult for me to decipher in this chapter. It's clear that she's still carrying a torch for Kazuya, but after the failure of her car gambit in chapter 416, it's also quite clear that she holds minimal power to actually sway his heart towards her. So what is she trying to achieve by making so many overtures this week? Every time I drink soda, you hear the popping. They get that gas. So what is she trying to achieve by making so many overtures this week? What made things click for me is realizing that mommy likely doesn't know that either. Yeah. Yeah. She's fired off the biggest gun in her arsenal, and that's gone nowhere. But she's still stuck on Kazuya's schedule for the remainder of her driving school. So she's just kind of winging it now, throwing everything at the wall on the off chance that she can turn his head a bit. She knows it's not rational, but she can't resist keeping her hopes up just in case. Yeah, she's just desperate. What do they highlight here? I'm such a weirdo, I can't believe I wore a brand new dress to a driving school of all places. Yeah. I'm just sitting here staring out the window, I'm such an idiot. I doubt he notices stuff like this anyway. My face looks better from this angle. Yeah, there's like things like in between that I just kind of ignored. Yeah, like this. Seeing mommy in her self-conscious state is relatively new territory for her, but it does follow on from what we saw her in chapter 340. When she bumps into Kazuya and Minnie at Joypolis, she's normally a person who strives to keep a lot of control over the situation she's in, but with Kazuya and Chizuru have long proved difficult for her to predict. And after the Hawaiians trip forced Mami to examine her own feelings more closely. Kazuya in particular has become a challenge for her to deal with. Mami can approach him fine when she has a clear goal in mind, learn and copy his schedule, for example. But in an unplanned, unstructured interactions like today, she's absolutely starting to spin out. You could say she's spiraling. In that respect, she's actually becoming more similar to Kazuya himself. Kazuya is obviously no stranger to becoming an overthinking mess around people he finds attractive, and he too tends to set up clear plans for himself to keep himself from spiraling out of control. Indeed, we see that in this very chapter. He's in a state of total stress when he's trying to interpret Mami's rapid-fire changing subjects at him. But when he turns towards thinking of Chizuru and planning ahead for his next date with her, his train of thoughts slows to a manageable pace, and he's able to think things through in a much more controlled, methodical way. In page 16, we also get another glimpse of Kazuya's viewed by another character. I always like these moments. They're a good visual reminder of the fact that he's more than just the panicking caricature he views himself as. Hell, even his new haircut actually looks decent in this one. How's everybody doing? How's everybody's day going? Are you all feeling good? Your day going okay? I know the stream is a little later than intended, but I'm just trying to make sure everyone is doing a-okay. I hope y'all's day has been smooth and you did not get doused with coffee. I was literally drenched in coffee today. Here we go. I hope this person doesn't get into their Toru theory again. Okay, so let's review everything Mami has been doing since encountering Kazuya in the driving school. She has actively encountered him since the texting at the early Kohab, 3 months after Hawaiians and Chizuru's ghosting. In fact, I would say Mami actually met him 4 months after. It was like 4 months. In fact, before Hawaiians, Mami hasn't encountered him specifically since the college auditorium and her sudden visit to his apartment. That's about 6 more months since Mami and Chizuru's exchange at the bridge happened at year 1. Blah, 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 blah. Then she saw him. She asked him take a picture of his schedule. Compliment his new looks. No. Okay, I don't really care for the recap. She went to Taiwan. So as far as we can tell, Mami is dropping her walls. The same walls she uplifted in chapter 215 at 15. She's letting herself feel that she likes being close to Kazuya in a similar fashion to how she did with Toru. She's still scheming, no longer to expose a lie, but to reach the truth of her heart. She's giving Kazuya everything she didn't during their 1 month of dating. She unknowingly healing both Kazuya and herself. I don't know about that one. Everyone keeps saying Mommy is doing this. I kind of disagree. I think she's helping him in being present, but I don't know if she's healing him. The past is confronted and being dealt with. No. It's evident as this healing is already preparing him to face Chizuru as a worthy man, and it's also preparing Mommy to be able to love freely once again. I agree to the second part. I don't know if I agree to the first part. Mostly because both of these are delusions. That they must accept are delusions, and that to get the real thing, it's a lot harder. Right? So he's correct in that it's prepping the characters in certain ways, much like how when you have a coping mechanism, it functions until a certain point to where you're prepped enough to do what you want to do. It's getting Mommy to ready to face her own past. Taru, who's probably still looking for her under the guise of the hotshot he's become to... Oh my fucking god. Of course it comes up in the end. She's getting things in order to... She's getting things in order by the breaking down you put forth. There's a bit of testing the waters at every stage until they can reach a base of commonality. There isn't much healing yet by my observation. Thank you. But I think the germ of the idea that this will lead to that, or that there are at the beginning of that is there. It's precisely the dynamic that I think is much bigger threat to Chizuru and Kazuya's relationship than Ruka forced infidelity. Sure, one seems like a bigger threat, but the former threatens to upend entire years of steady progress. The big thing, though, is that Kazuya will eventually have to learn of Mommy's role up to and during Hawaiians. How Mommy navigates all of that coming out will be crucial, as if this is coy flirting has legs. Sometimes it's nice to recap things for a single character, help put things into perspective. Thank you for that. Sorry I was dismissive of that. I know it can help people. I remember, so I didn't really necessarily need all that. But I understand. Okay. Driving lessons. Yep. So tomorrow, I might as well mention this now. So tomorrow, I'm not sure when I'll stream. I might stream. I'm just not sure when. I get home at like 1, I think. And then I gotta do some stuff. So I get home at 1. I gotta do some stuff. Probably like... Oh, yeah, I gotta set up our... We have a new water filter that I gotta set up. After that, I do want to stream a little bit. I don't know if I want to get back to gaming just yet. Saturday, there won't be a stream. I got inventory. So there won't be a stream Saturday. That's for sure. I'm like pretty sure about that. So, and then Sunday... I forgot what my schedule was for Sunday. I might close. Yeah, I totally forgot what my schedule was for Sunday. So I'll have to figure that out. And then maybe Monday I'll do a bit of video game streaming. Maybe Monday. We'll see. Yeah, maybe Monday I'll do a video game stream or something. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I do want to stream a little more. I feel like I haven't streamed in a bit. Also haven't written in a bit. So that's another thing I want to do. So it's like we're getting back to streaming, which is good. But I do gotta write. I do gotta edit. Okay. So the teaser was most likely Kazuya's driving school. Yes, it did. It was only the hint that we would get a Mommy chapter. Let's see what there is to say in this week's analysis. Mommy is with Kazuya at the driving lessons again. They seem to do highway training today. Kazuya is driving while Mommy sits in the back seat, which is, you know, she's literally in his car stuck in the back. Kazuya is sneaking glances at her through the back mirror, and the instructor compliments him for remembering to check behind him. Right. the instructor completely misses the point. During a break, Mommy sits down next to Kazuya, and while looking for something to talk about, he remembers her comparing him to a red bean bun before, chapter 423. Reggie, you son of a bitch. Are you fucking serious? 423, 432? That's when the topic comes back up? Are you fucking kidding me? Kazuya can't know the context, chapter 417, and Mommy doesn't explain. Instead, she gave him a keychain souvenir from Taiwan. Kazuya's intuition is on the nose. Mommy is at least on part, went through to get the red bean bun, 429, but Kazuya has no way to figure that out. Went there to get the red bean bun. The red bean bun doesn't seem like a flattering comparison for Kazuya, but the connection this has to him is that Mommy realized too late she actually really liked the red bean buns. Yep. Okay. Kazuya can't make sense of Mommy's actions. Everything looks like Mommy is interested in him. Kazuya's already excluded the explanation, so he doesn't consider it. We can see Kazuya's avoidance strategy at work here again. He tries to come up with other justifications for her actions or play them down as totally normal while not actually confronting the issue. He ignores this until something happens that forces him to deal with it. That is unfortunate since it means he will essentially wait until the situation gets out of hand. The Kazuya classic. My dude, the Kazuya classic. Kazuya needs to learn to ask questions, especially uncomfortable ones. He has every right to ask Mommy about her intentions here. He could tell her that she is at least giving him very mixed signals, and he could ask her to stop. But he lets her continue, ignoring the signals to a point that Mommy wonders if he even notices. I think the parallel with Chizuru is deliberate here. Kazuya did the same thing with her. Mommy asked him if she looked cute, reminding him of Chizuru. With Mommy, we have the benefit of getting confirmation that she was deliberately doing this for Kazuya. But Chizuru did the same thing multiple times, not just on the date. She was trying to get Kazuya's attention. It's no coincidence that Mommy pulls down her skirt just like Chizuru did in the bathroom during the shopping arc. Yep, I was thinking of the same thing. I hope I mentioned that. People keep mentioning things that I literally had flashbacks to, and I feel like I never mentioned them. Fuck. I need to start doing that more. I used to do that shit a lot, and I haven't been doing it. We don't consider how Kazuya ignoring the signs instead of acknowledging them will have led Chizuru into thinking he might not be interested in her in that way. Compared to how Kazuya acted with Mommy, Ruka did the complete opposite with Umi. She accused Umi of making a move on her at the slightest touch. You did mention that? Yes! 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 Fuck yeah, motherfucker! Fuck yeah, motherfucker! That's what I'm talking about! Varicus for the save. Compared to how Kazuya acted with Mommy, Ruka did the complete opposite with Umi. She accused Umi of making a move on her at the slightest touch, pun intended, in that direction. While Kazuya ignores the signs, Ruka is jumping to conclusions. Ooh, look at this man fucking cooking. Look at this dude fucking cooking. I was trying to find a comparison, and I couldn't do shit with that. And here's this man fucking cooking that shit. They both make the same mistake of just making assumptions, but in opposite directions. Right? It's the thing I've mentioned before. An extreme in either direction ends up in the same exact situation. It's still an assumption. It's just in opposite extremes. Right? Same exact problem, opposite extremes. But Ruka actually confronts people while Kazuya acts like things didn't happen. It fits that Kazuya tries to label what happened with Ruka as a mistake that must not happen again, while Ruka doubles down on her actions trying to succeed the next time. Ruka sees Umi on TV and gets annoyed. What's next time? The cooperation. Right after seeing Ruka and Umi, this certainly sounds like they will team up. This feels like a very obnoxious, very obvious bait. It could also refer to Kazuya's job hunting, or to him trying to get Minnie's help again to check out Mother's farm. I'm not sure. This whole volume feels like a big setup so far. We had Ruka and Umi. Then we had Chizuru. We talked about the wave, right? So wait. Eddie Man, are you here? What chapter? So we said we would be 6 chapters in. So we said we would be 6 chapters in. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 426. The end of last volume was when the volume before the current one we're on, was when we were told of the wave, right? So 426 was when the last volume ended, correct? Right? The volume, like, previous to the current one that we're in. This is the 6th chapter, yes. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 426. So last volume sets us up for the wave. And what's been happening with each subsequent chapter, it's as if the wave is slowly rising. And we're literally feeling like we're rising, right? And it feels like there's something in the background, right? So we start pretty fucking ominous, right? With Ruka and Umi, and it's like slowly rising. And we kind of just like disappear into the background, right? Umi and Ruka just kind of disappear into the background. But then we see Nanami, Miss Seven Seas herself. And what did Varicus just do? He just described this as though this volume is a big setup. So it's as if the wave is literally fucking rising. So I think what's going to happen is that at some point we're going to see this wave. I think before this volume ends, right? So maybe next chapter, before this volume ends, we're going to see what this wave is. It's not the calm before the storm, it's the wave rising. It's literally the wave rising. It's the tsunami, right? You felt the earthquake, right? You felt the earthquake in 426, and now you're sensing the tsunami. You're sensing the big ass wave coming, but you're just not ready for it. You don't quite see it yet. It's not really visible to you yet. I think it would be really fitting by the 7th chapter of the volume. That's when we see the wave. Which fits very well with Nanami, 7 Seas. It fits with Umi, because there's that whole connection with 7 with him, right? 7 Seas, 7 Ocean, there you go. So, I think next chapter might focus on Umi, like I said. We get his perspective and the real nature of the wave, right? We see what the real wave is, the water rising, right? So maybe you could view it like the water is retreating. So like, that's the signs of the wave. Fuck me. That's the signs of a wave. The water retreats. Right, the water is literally retreating on the beach. Fuck. You see the water is retreating before the tsunami hits. Yeah. The calm before a storm, or evenly showing, or events slowly showing in the distance. It's like that scene from what do you call it? The space one with Nolan. What's it fucking called? Interstellar, thank you. Yeah. It's like that scene in Interstellar when they're on the ocean planet and you're like, oh, that's a fucking wave. Oh, that's a fucking wave. I'm not a big fan of Nolan films, but I'm gonna be real. Watching that shit in theaters is pretty cool. Watching his movies in theaters is pretty fucking cool. I'm gonna be real. As much as I dislike the way the Odyssey is being portrayed by Nolan and his seeming lacking understanding of the narrative, I'm gonna be real, is probably gonna be peak as fuck. Like Nolan knows how to make fun films, you know? And then, while there's only like a few films from him that I've never been a big fan of. So I do think, like, I'm pretty sure the Odyssey is probably going to be pretty fucking fun, you know? I just know I saw an interview with him talking about the Cyclops and how he couldn't make the nobody, like, for those who don't know, Odysseus, meets a Cyclops. I forgot how you say his name, but his name means like the talking or something like that. And Odysseus initially tells him, like when the Cyclops asks his name, Odysseus tells him, "I'm nobody." So when he later stabs the Cyclops in the eye, he literally screams, "Nobody poked my eye out." Right? So people thought nothing was going on, right? And then later he asks, Odysseus tells him his real name, Odysseus. This is important because what happens later is that the Cyclops goes to Poseidon, tells Poseidon who did it, and Odysseus incurs Poseidon's wrath. And I feel like, okay, so if you remove that part, how the fuck's that gonna work? Because that's like literally the start of the Odyssey. That's like low-key the start of the Odyssey, which is like how Odysseus incurs Poseidon's wrath. If you remove that central part of the Odysseus's lie that he tells of the nobody, it removes the significance of what he himself did, as well as the nature of what it incurs. Like, even Batman. Like, I remember in Justice League, in fucking the Justice League TV show, the Justice League cartoon, Batman, like, fucking nails this line. He knocks it out of the goddamn park. Like, he says it so perfectly. I'm like, holy shit. Come on, Batman can fucking say it. Why can't Nolan say it? And he is like, he gives it the excuse of, like, modern language or something. Anyways, we're ranting again. Okay. The whole volume feels like a big setup so far. We had Ruka and Umi, then we had Chizuru, now we have Mami, and through it all, we see Kazuya focused on his goals. But no confrontation actually happened, and none of the things that were set up led to any payoffs yet, much less to any solutions. Since everything is happening in parallel, it feels like we are heading towards a point where everything is going to happen all at once. Like a wave crashing. I doubt that this moment will come in the current volume. Maybe in like next chapter or by the end of the volume. The logical moment to have everything come down would be July 4th. It is Kazuya's license test date. That marks the end of this time. No, I think the test itself, rather than being the culmination of everything happening, it'll instead be this moment of how do I want to describe it? I don't think the test will be when everything happens. I think the test will be almost like after everything hits the fan, and it's the jaded awakening moment. I think that's kind of what July 4th is going to be. Jaded awakening moment, specifically because July 4th is the day of liberation. It's literally the day of independence. So, I think July 4th is when independence is found, but when it feels hollow. Possibly. I could be wrong. It is Kazuya's license test, which marks the end of the time with Mami, making this the right time for her to take action. It also probably is the start of Chizuru making this potential date for her to give Kazuya's ticket for. It marks the start of Kazuya and Chizuru's plans kicking into action, and is the most likely time for things to go wrong, with the potential to course correct or crash over the following weeks. Yeah, he makes some solid points. I'm not gonna pretend like maybe it's like right after, right? I expect a tumultuous time, so we might as well enjoy the calm before until then. The chocolate Umi promos is called Poco no Choco, Choco Loco. It plays on words poco no cho, meaning eating in one bite, and choco obviously means chocolate. It is a bite of chocolate that you can eat in one bite. However, there's another innuendo to what Umi says, poco no cho, and also a slang word for sex. It plays right into Ruka's bias. Hey, nobody gave you a thumbs up. Who else did I not give a thumbs up? I haven't read this one, so it's not fair. I read this one. Oh, this one's long. I don't know if I'm interested in reading that. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Oh. It's pretty tame compared to your usual stuff, Jojo. Oh, but you're talking to... Oh my god! Oh my lord, you are talking to people! You are talking to people! I'm sad the story's becoming a harem. It's not, though. Man, you popped off, dude! You talking to people. You fucking talking to people, dude. Oh, my lord. Oh. I do be yapping. Hey, man, I get it. I'm a fucking yapper. I'm gonna yippity yap. That's what I do. No, I get it. Sometimes when I'm talking to people and I really get into shit, I fucking yap. Nolan did a significantly better job with the Oppenheimer movie. Legit one of the best movies I've ever seen in the theater. I saw Oppenheimer too. I will say a part of my issue with watching Oppenheimer was the seats. I made a crucial mistake. I went to a normal movie theater when watching Oppenheimer. That was a fucking mistake. I should have went to those like comfy seat movie theaters because that 3-hour movie was starting to hurt my goddamn ass. Okay? Like there are times where I can't tell, but like now I can't. If I'm watching a long ass movie, I need comfy ass seats, okay? You know? So unfortunately with that movie, like it was a good movie, but I was not enjoying my time. It hurt my ass. I will be real. I will admit I did the Barbenheimer thing. I liked Barbie more. I'm gonna be real. I liked Barbie more than Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was a good movie. It was pretty fun, but Barbie was just my shit. Barbie was pretty good. I liked Barbie a lot. But I was just not that's my issue with like a lot of Nolan's films. A lot of them are just conceptually, visually, auditory, just really fun experience. You know, they're really fun experiences. But I don't always vibe with what he has to say or the nature of the film or what he's doing. Like, I just don't click with that shit sometimes. Like, that's just kind of my issue with Nolan. You know, like, in a weird way, I think a lot of it just very much represents, like, Western culture. Like, a lot of his movies are just very Western culture coded. And it feels like there isn't much going on. Like, I don't know, it doesn't expand my mind like it does other people. They're just like really fun experiences, which I will 100% admit to. Like, yeah, I have fun with a lot of his movies, but like only a few times do I really vibe with his movies. Like, again, I like Interstellar. I like Dunkirk. Like, Dunkirk, like the first gunshot you hear woke me the fuck up. Like, that movie legit got me fucking scared. It made me feel like I was in a goddamn war. It got me legit scared. So, like, I like Dunkirk was just like, damn, okay, that's really, he captured that vibe really well. I liked Interstellar. It was just a very emotional story. I saw Inception, like, once. So I haven't seen Inception in a hot minute. What other movies does he got? Christopher movies. Oppenheimer, The Dark Knight. Did he did he directed all the Dark Knight movies, right? He directed all the Dark Knight movies, right? The Dark Knight Rises, The Dark Knight. Tenet was a cool concept. It was a dumb fucking movie. Tenet was a cool goddamn concept. It was a dumb movie. The main character's name is Protagonist. The main character's name in Tenet is Protagonist. Are you fucking kidding me? Like I said, Dunkirk is good. He didn't direct Man of Steel. He probably just sponsored it. Or like produced it. Yeah, I would say my two favorite movies from him are Interstellar and Dunkirk. Um, he was executive produced. He produced Oppenheimer? He didn't direct it? Wait, I'm confused. Wait. Did he direct these movies or produce them? Yeah, he's the director. And the writer? Really? Wait, he's the director and the writer. I don't know how to feel about that. I almost want to see this movie just to be like, yeah, I'm a hater, but I'm an informed hater. No, dude. I want to see Odyssey to be like, I'm an informed hater. I haven't even seen Inception since it came out. I don't remember jack shit about Inception. Transcendence? What the hell is... Did he direct this? No, he didn't. He's just a producer. I remember seeing trailers for this movie, but I never saw it. Yeah, so The Dark Knight Rises, is he also the director? Yeah, he was the director. All right. Okay, so yeah, I would say my two favorite movies from him are definitely Dunkirk and Interstellar. Okay, let's go read some analysis. Big ass masculine men or badass women seeking revenge is my shit? What? You're a first time chatter? I'm so confused. Scroll down to director on Christopher Nolan's page to see which movies is he directed. I don't care right now. I'm 3D model? You what? I couldn't tell for shit, bro. Well, thanks for coming to Twitch side. I couldn't tell for shit. I was so confused. I'm like, who this? Twitchy 3D. I was like, who the fuck is this? Well, thanks for going to Twitch side. I do appreciate it. No problem. You fuck with the cowboy shit. What cowboy shit? Scroll down. Oh yeah, we're doing this. He did both. He produced and directed. He produces a lot of shit. Okay. A Tale of Three Keychains. This sounds like a Kingdom Hearts title. Not gonna lie, this sounds like a Kingdom Hearts title, Jojo. Like, bro, I think you're secretly a Kingdom Hearts fan. You may not know it yet, but I think you're a Kingdom Hearts fan. If you recall, Ruka in chapter 347 helps Kazuya obtain a bank card. In many ways, a moment during this excursion becomes the catalyst for Ruka's sexual awakening. A scene that in other romance mangas would just be some tropey bullshit where we'll flash the panties of one of the losing heroines. But here, it is the coinciding of losing the keychain from Chizuru leading him directly into Ruka's crotch. The flustered... Wow, your writing's pretty solid here. You can guess who I am, though. Yeah, bitch. I know exactly who you are. The flustered paralyzation from Kazuya clashes with the domineering excitement felt by Ruka. There is our current conflict between Ruka and Kazuya in a nutshell. So what is Ruka's keychain? It is a bow. No, it's a ribbon. It's a ribbon. It's a ribbon tied into a bow, but it's a ribbon. Kind of crass, to be honest, Ruka. You chose a symbol of yourself to give to Kazuya as his home totem. That both highlights that you intend to paint Kazuya in your own colors, and that you wish to impart what the bow means to you, an illusion of innocence. Really, what do you mean by that? Oh, never mind. Never mind. The bow represents an idealization. So therefore it reflects innocence, therefore it gives Kazuya the illusion of innocence. Fair. Ruka seeks to cover and infantilize Kazuya. I will note that Ruka later gives Kazuya a fish wallet after seeing how desperately he clings to the fish keychain in the mall. Oh, that's how those two things connect. Fair. And we, the audience, see this as progress. Oh, look, in this one moment, how Ruka tries to give Kazuya what he imagines it is that he needs. Ruka is seeing Kazuya for a moment, but this is all is then betrayed almost immediately afterwards as she descends upon him with her lust. Later, she observes how vulnerable and cute he was. She has donned the bow on him in the moment of the greatest betrayal. There was never any true equality. There was only one side pursuing while the other pleaded with their better angels. Okay. There's a lot going on in this chapter, but to me, it's a gift that Mami gives Kazuya that is kind of incredible. So Chizuru gives Kazuya something he likes. Ruka gives something that reflects herself, and Mami gives something to Kazuya that... Oh, I didn't piece this together. Kazuya has an unstable ice cream falling apart, and what does Ruka give? What does Mami give him? A stable tower. She gives him a keychain of stability to reflect what he gives her, which is a sense of stability, whereas Kazuya, in contrast, is unstable. What Mami sees in Kazuya is not what is actually going on with him. So what she gives him is her perspective of him, right? So what she gives him is her association of him to what he gives her, right? Just like the sweet red bean bun. The tower that Mami gives him as a keychain is a reflection of what he represents to her, a very stable figure, right? So whereas Ruka gives him something that symbolizes herself because she desperately wants to be with him, right? She gives him this illusion of how she appears and how she wants to be with him, right? It's specifically about her. Mami is kind of the flip. It is about her, but specifically her perception of him. So they're kind of like, it's personal, yes, but it's specifically about him. Whereas what Chizuru gives him is she wants to give him something he particularly likes. So it's about him, but what she gives, she doesn't include herself in. So whereas Ruka is very selfish, it's all about her. Mami, it's about her perception of Kazuya, but it's missing the mark. Chizuru gives him something that does in fact fit him and something he will actually like, but she doesn't include herself in the picture. So it removes its importance. It loses a lot of its importance because she herself is not in the picture. That's really interesting. Chizuru could literally learn from Ruka and Mami's approach. She's like somewhere in the middle between them, and she could learn from their approach. But both of their approaches are lacking Chizuru's approach, which is making it actually about him and not about themselves and how they view him or what they want from him. Okay. There's a lot going on in the chat, but Mami gives Kazuya is kind of incredible. The small chucks end up representing the core essence of what the women in Kazuya's life are offering him as a partner. We can easily see how selfish and imposing Ruka's gift is, but then what should we make of Mami's? It's quite simple. It's the most perfect gift you could ever give Kazuya, and I was stunned about digging in. Wait, it's quite simple. The most perfect gift you could ever give Kazuya, and I was stunned upon digging into this. What is the keychain? Taipei 101. At one point in recent past, it was the tallest building in the world, a monument that stands so proud and an icon that endures. But let us dig deeper into the many ways the tower was designed as a symbol towards prosperity and something else even more grander. From a foundational perspective, this is a building designed to withstand all disasters. It survived a major earthquake during its very construction. I hope you all remember that I wrote about how tremors cause great waves. Ooh. Ooh, that's pretty subtle. Ooh, sneaky, sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky, Reiji. Right? And we're talking about the last wave. This is a structure meant to withstand both. No one thing is indestructible, but this is as close as you'll ever get to it. This is only the physical construction, though, because it is packed into every brick and symbolic construction that creates this intention as an object. It's what Mommy wants from him. She wants him to withstand the waves of Nanami, of her family, the 7 waves. Sorry, the 7 seas. I think it literally reflects what she wants from him, but also it alludes to his future and how she sees him. Interesting. Right, and this is important because remember, Mommy specifically says to him, like, do I look cute? She specifically, like, she gives him something and she wants something in return. Right? Except Kazuya doesn't see what it means for her to give him this thing. It's constructed of 8 stacked boxes that simultaneously convey stacked boxes of gold and the elegant natural simplicity of bamboo. The number 8 is precisely used for abundance, prosperity, and good fortune. Particularly, it's associated with growth. And it has a connection to Minnie, who has literally the number 8 in her name. The bricks, though, are many adornments in what is called the curled ryo. This symbolizes healing, protection, and fulfillment. To top it all off, many use of the yin and yang are incorporated to create the ultimate manifestation of feng shui. I talked a lot last week about the dialectical. That was the concept that was reached more earlier in Eastern traditions, through the concept of feng shui and yin yang. There is a swirling and deeply interconnected balance of opposites. You cannot reject or totally embrace either, yet you must accept and live through the harmonious shape created through conflict of opposites. One more thing. 101 in Eastern culture. In Eastern cultures, 100 is considered the number of perfection. In Taipei, 101 seeks to go beyond mere perfection. It is that not the embodiment of dreams manifest into reality? And where are the characters right now? They're literally in the spiritual world, the unknown world, the dream world, and the hero's journey. But all of that is contrasted to the fact that Mommy is the giver of the most divine gift. Mommy is nowhere near this grandiose pronunciation of love in the current story. Fuck. You just answered this for me without realizing. Kazuya asks her, what does me being a red bean bun mean? She proceeds to give him a gift that, if you understand what it means, would reflect, like, it would give you the answer. A grandiose pronunciation of love. Right? Kazuya has no clue what the fuck she's talking about because he's like us. We don't get it. Right? You researched, right? Jojo researched. Kazuya has no fucking clue. She did answer his question in a very roundabout way that she expected he would understand. He doesn't know. So it makes no fucking sense. And that's why Kazuya is in shadow. His question, that's what I felt. I felt like Mommy did answer his question. But I don't get it. I don't see it. Jojo just explained how she did, and suddenly Kazuya being in shadow makes so much more sense. How would she expect him to know? It's less how does she expect him to know, and more of if Kazuya had looked his up, he would have understood. So his question was answered just very indirectly. Maybe she expects him to look it up later. Something like that. Maybe she expects him to look it up later, like look at what it means, and then get the answer. So Kazuya doesn't realize she did answer him. Mommy being obtuse isn't that play here. Are you telling her being obtuse is in the play here, or is that not what she's doing? Because all mommy does is be obtuse, right? But that makes sense. That suddenly connects. It makes a lot of sense now. But it also ties into mommy pretty well. Mommy seeks to go beyond mere perfection. And what is Chizuru? Perfection. So it's almost as if a hint of mommy trying to surpass Chizuru. Right? Mommy's trying to go above Chizuru. She literally poses in a certain way because that would make her face look better. I think mommy, without realizing it, is trying to go above Chizuru. That also hints at that, I think. All that contrasts with blah, 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 blah. The chapter alone highlights how clearly mommy has failed to come anywhere close to the first step of redemption, let alone the 101st step of perfection beyond perfection. But I don't think Reiji wants us to dismiss the idea of what could be entirely there. What it could be entirely either. Okay. Kazuya and Mami's relationships exist in a liminal space, a space between total annihilation and lasting harmony. While you may think that all the creation could exist in such a space, but it teeters at the edges. The space in between might as well be a void. But notice that this is another chapter of growth. Notice how this chapter also plays with mirrors and screens and representations of illusions and simulations, respectively. Kazuya and Mami in the car only see each other through the mirror or fail to see each other at all. They only see an illusion of the other, but fail to face their past fully. In contrast, there is a brief moment at a rest stop. Kazuya, confused and deep breaths, inundated by so much information, is struggling to even properly eat an ice cream cone. In fact, the way he slurps it at its downright lasciviousness. Oh my god. Big words. Big words. Big wordies. Lascivious. Describes behavior, expressions, or gestures driven by intended to arouse strong, unrestrained sexual desires. I can see why you would think that. And there's probably a connection to it, but I didn't immediately see it as, like, horny. Mami, with a direct but sincere form of kindness, points out how strange he looks trying to eat his ice cream. Yeah, and specifically, like, very direct kindness, like she's literally putting her hands in front of her like that. One thing I really want to point out about the ice cream is how unbalanced it is. Oh, look, it's the shit I was saying! The very first shot of it is immediately drooping and sagging to one side. This treat is untenable. From its very inception, it would not last. That seems to go beyond mere bad timing. It's almost like it was destined to fail. A treat that is destined to fail versus a tower that will never fall. Okay. Kazuya holds the ice cream in his hand and tries in many respects and contortions to hold it in such a way that it won't be unstable. And yet it remains unstable no matter where he turns it and how he twists it. Fuck. Stability versus instability. Ooh. But nothing can fix its inherent instability. And the shock of Mami pointing out how strangely he eats the ice cream should lead to an utter mess, but it actually helps stabilize it. The cone maintains its shape as Mami calmly sits next to Kazuya. As they then converse, Kazuya is able to eat more and more of the ice cream until only the base of the cone remains. Cup empty in hand, Mami offers her plea to be seen as cute, and Kazuya acquiesces in kind. Mami, you are cute. Kazuya gives Mami what she asks for, and by the blush on her face, you can tell he likes telling it to her. We can tell he likes telling it to her. A Gordian knot cut through. But then they must return to the car, and the old illusions once again take hold. Kazuya thinks of a similar situation with Chizuru, but he doesn't understand what was different. Chizuru struggled so hard to not force him to call her cute, but it's too clever by half. Chizuru wants to be called cute, but she wants to know that he is telling the truth as he says it. Kazuya doesn't see that issue through because there was never a moment that he didn't find her absolutely stunning. Chizuru was trying to solve a problem that was never a problem, but it revealed a real problem. She never truly trusted Kazuya. She never truly trusted Kazuya. Really? I don't know about that. She never truly trusted Kazuya? I mean, there are signs of that. Maybe it's more accurate to say she didn't really trust what she did to him? That maybe she made him lie? I think there's a middle ground between this. I think there is a middle ground between this, where there is an aspect of her that does not trust Kazuya, which I agree to. There's an aspect of her that does trust him, which I disagree to. So I don't know. I think this statement is too blatant. I don't think this is fully true. Specifically because Kazuya never truly trusted her. So I would say it's kind of like in the middle. Right? It's kind of like in the middle. I would say she does trust him, but she doesn't know if she can trust his words as a kind of parallel to rental dating. Think of it like that, right? How can I know you're telling the truth or I didn't make you tell me something? Are we just acting? Did I make you say this thing? Is it really how you feel? Right? It's less I don't trust you and more of I'm trying to get something, but I don't know if I'm getting it in an honest, authentic way. She's trying to get authenticity, which she knows Kazuya is, but there's this inherent, how do I explain it? Like a broken foundation. I don't think she doesn't trust him. I think there is a broken sense of trust. I agree to that. And there are signs there is a broken sense of trust. I think Chizuru doesn't know how to... It's not that Chizuru doesn't trust his words. I think she does. But there are things that she doesn't know how to trust. It's kind of hard to explain. And it's getting a little late, which doesn't help. There's a truth to what he is saying. I just don't think he's hitting... The problem, in my opinion, Jojo, is that you're speaking in an absolute. I don't think there is an absolute here. That's kind of the issue. Because I would say there's even more broken trust with Mami than there is with Chizuru. Rather, it raises a question, why does Chizuru think she made him say that? Right? That doesn't mean she doesn't trust him. She literally says, maybe I made you say that. So that doesn't mean she doesn't trust him. Rather, maybe she doesn't trust her influence on him. Right? Maybe she deep down thinks she's manipulating him. Right? If anything, that indicates to me that she thinks she's manipulating him. And rather than not trusting Kazuya, it conveys to him she doesn't trust him without meaning to. Because I've seen that a lot in relationships, where you're indicating to someone you don't trust them when that's not the case. And if anything, it reflects a lack of trust in herself and her influence on him. And in so doing, it creates a broken foundation where they kind of distrust each other without meaning to. Because that literally happens with Kazuya constantly. He doesn't trust her, but he does trust her, and it doesn't make any fucking sense. Right? You see that constantly. He does trust her and he doesn't trust her. And it's a constant, like, maelstrom of what the fuck. It doesn't make any sense. And in that same way, I think it's the same with Chizuru. There are a lot of signs that she doesn't trust him. It happens a few times. Like, for example, when she sees him shopping right after she went into the salon, and because she was vulnerable with the masseuse, and she remembers that, she freaks and retreats, right? But then she tells him afterwards, showing she does trust him, and she's like, why the fuck did I retreat? And it shows she's afraid of being vulnerable. That less has to do with not trusting Kazuya and more of just a fear of herself, which ties perfectly into Kazuya himself, right? There is a broken foundation where he doesn't trust Chizuru, but a lot of that is very much rooted in himself, right? His distrust of Chizuru comes from himself, less so than him not actually trusting her. So it's not that Chizuru doesn't trust him, she kind of doesn't trust herself. And it gives signals that she doesn't trust him. I think this is a misinterpretation. If he doesn't know what the keychain depicts, how would he look that up? Also, who researches a souvenir? Kazuya isn't JoJo. I agree, and yet I still believe the answer is there, right? I still believe the answer is there in his face, and he just doesn't see it. Because Mommy's whole thing has been giving Kazuya signals, so the keychain she gave him should be in its own right a signal. See what I mean? And that's how Mommy has communicated for a while. It's just Kazuya doesn't know how to read the signals. Heck, just her giving him a gift, period, is an indicator that him being like a red bean bun is her liking how he tastes or something. You know, even if he doesn't know the meaning, you researching the meaning is you learning the depth, but just her giving him a gift is indicating to him that she likes him, but he doesn't see that. So I'm just saying there's like a depth to it. That's what I mean, but it is there all the same, even if he doesn't research it. Is there a dedicated forum talking about Rent a Girlfriend? I'm just reading a serious discussion on Reddit. I don't think that it's Chizuru never truly trusted Kazuya as a whole, but more rather she doesn't trust Kazuya to tell the whole truth, as their whole relationship originated of one giant lie. See, that's a little better. That makes a little more sense. Damn, Bulver, you've been cooking more and more lately. To say she never truly trusted Kazuya is far too extreme. I agree with that. That's why, this just felt like too strong of a statement. You mean Chizuru is seeking validation? Kind of. She's a bit driven by guilt. So a lot of the times you try to validate what you feel because you wanna say what you think is wrong isn't happening. I think Chizuru believed Kazuya when he said that she was cute, but she wants him to notice her efforts to look cute for him. If he only tells her when she makes him, it doesn't show he noticed. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like there's a lot of remember, Chizuru has references of the past when Kazuya pointed out how cute she was, where he talked about her all the effort she put in, whether it be her hair, her swimsuit, all the little details. She doesn't see that now, so she's getting mixed signals. So she's like, okay, I feel like I made you say that because you're not acting the way that you did before, right? Because before she did ask a question like this. If anything, I think what Mommy did, I just realized this right now. This, I can't believe I didn't clock this sooner. Oh wow, I'm dumb as fuck. It's just like this. My God, it's just like this. Mommy hides her hands. Chizuru shows her hands. And yeah, look at how he compliments it, and look at how she laughs. Kazuya does nothing like this when it comes to Chizuru's current outfit. This never happens. Which is, I think, why Chizuru has some doubts. The signals he's giving her is completely different from before. With Chizuru, you know where you stand. She tells you the whole truth. Kazuya, you don't know where you stand here, as there's always something he's not noticing that he needs to say. Exactly. And I think the fact that Mommy hides her hands here is a bit of an indicator, right? She puts her hands behind her here. Her hands are not visible. You don't know her intent. Whereas with Chizuru, she puts her hands in front of her, albeit more reluctantly. And although of all the people's posts you haven't been reading regarding the analysis, who's more accurate? How would you rank them? Out of all the people's posts you have been reading regarding the analysis, who's more accurate? Who would you rank them? I don't really do that. I think everyone has things they're correct about and things they're wrong about. So, for instance, like, Varicus's posts are really interesting, but there's, like, things in there I don't necessarily agree to. Jojo's posts, he catches things I never catched before, and that's really interesting. So I'm more inclined to read, like, Varicus, Jojo. I think there's a person named Paladin. Like, I'll say stuff like that, but I won't say this is the best and this is the worst. That's not my kind of thing. Sorry. I'll tell you who I'm more inclined to read than I am to read someone else. But I'm not going to say, like, this is the best and most accurate. There isn't an accurate one. Jojo has a lot of really interesting things that he catches, but we just pointed out how he's not accurate about certain things. That's just a fact. There's things I'm not accurate about. I don't think there is such a thing as accuracy when it comes to analysis. I think that's a false narrative, and you should never listen to that. Don't ever go into an analysis thinking it's going to be accurate. That's not a thing. I think there are things people will catch that's really fucking impressive. Like, oh, I would have never caught that. Right? But they caught it. That's really cool. That reflects intent. If you research what the writer had to say, if you read their interviews, cool. That reflects a bit of accuracy about the intent of the writer. You know, but don't go into an analysis looking for accuracy. Go into it to see what you can learn. And if you did actually learn something that's meaningful and you can relate to that, cool. So for instance, I watched a video analyzing how Life is Strange went downhill. And I found it really interesting. But at the same time, I think if I played those games, I might not fully agree with what they had to say. Therefore, even if what they said is accurate, it doesn't mean it's truly accurate, you know, because I'll feel a different way about certain things. Granted, I haven't played these games yet, so I don't know how to feel immediately. So, like, I'll decide afterwards. But even then, I just don't go with the idea that analysis is correct, because ultimately it is your breakdown of something, and there might be things in there that, because of your bias, you do not truly see fully. That's just life. I can bet you even some of the most successful analysts, there we go, probably fucked up something. Your favorite YouTuber probably didn't analyze something all the way. You know, one of my favorite content creators is, in terms of analysis, is Totally Not Mark. And then even then, there's like things in there that I feel like, you know, yeah, that's good analysis, but then there's things like I feel like he didn't really capture fully. You know, or he didn't delve into enough. And a lot of times analysis is just an expression of what you feel and think. So I just don't think that's necessarily fair, you know. Let's try to finish this. Shit, it's getting late. Maybe like 3 more minutes. Mommy goes beyond Chizuru here. She knows she's dressing up for his satisfaction. Her satisfaction. Her own. It's for her. But can't accept his words as true despite trying to get him to say it. This is the growth of a real relationship, and unfortunately this is something Kazi and Chizuru never had. Never could have in how their relationship began. That's not the issue of their relationship. Ironically, she is. It's less that the relationship was foundationally a lie. No, that's not. They only could ever be at the edge of the most divine implications. They are a truth felt a core deeper than thought, but never once brought to light. No, it has been brought to light a few times. And if anything, I think Mommy is like a false truth. Mommy is literally the embodiment of a half-truth. Which brings me to find the third keychain, an adorable and unassuming clownfish. How naive we are to believe in a fairy tale of Kazi and Chizuru as she handed him the fish. Here you can live with me, but like how we thoroughly dissect Mami and Ruka's Toshtak, so too we must pick the bones of the cursed fish. Clownfish are remarkable creatures. They live in an environment that I can only survive in. Any other creatures would be stung to death. It's a dangerous, conversely provides the perfect place to raise a brood. Above all, I think Chizuru's gift represents a deep longing to create a family free from the dangers of the outside world. If only it was that simple. But the need to provide a perfect environment that nurtures but one kind of animal also does something sinister in kind. It turns the gift of safe harbor into the prison of isolation. A clownfish in any other place becomes a quick and easy meal. The ultimate form of kindness creates an ultimate form of helplessness, and the quicker you make your lover into a literal fool. I mean, yeah, she's kind of Marlin, right? Like, the Nemo fish is literally a reference to Nemo, and that's pretty much kind of what Marlin did, where there's a bit of distrust from Marlin to Nemo, you know, because he's worried about Nemo, and it's not that he just outright distrusts Nemo, it's that Marlin himself has trust issues. It's less that Nemo has something wrong with him, it's that Marlin himself has trust issues. Chizuru made Kazi the fool and trapped him with barbs and stingers that isolated him from the outside world. This isolated him from the truth. What truth is that? Well, I've mentioned it before, but it still sits there waiting to be revealed in its ugly glory. This is correct and a little off. I think the framing is a little wrong. It's closer to Finding Nemo. Any Dory references in this manga? Minnie. Minnie is Dory. Minnie has pink eyes, just like Dory. She has blue streaks on her hair, just like Dory. She can be pretty forgetful too, just like Dory. She's literally the thing tying them together, just like Dory. She just keeps moving, just keeps swimming, just keeps swimming. Minnie's Dory. Kazuya is Nemo. Chizuru is Marlin. Granted, yeah, I think Chizuru being Marlin makes the most sense. Yeah, Chizuru being Marlin makes the most sense. But Marlin could also fit Kazuya, which is a little strange. You know, actually, Minnie spends more time with Kazuya than she does with Chizuru. Maybe Kazuya's Marlin. I don't know, but I don't know. I feel like what JoJo is saying has some solid points, but it just feels like some stuff's just kind of not hitting the mark. You know, there's some solid points, but just he's talking about it in such a dark way that I don't think fully represents the truth. And so I came into this chapter with the hope for a future that with Chizuru and Kazuya, but came away understanding and even accepting that this lopsided ice cream cone needs to be done away with. Yet it is Mami who is right there to fill the empty cup of Kazuya, and who is absent and running and pontifying about what is the right way to undo the hurt that can be undone. It's bleak, I know, but we have to go this way. There's no other way. You cannot unring the bell that was rung so long ago. You have to go through the pain, and the truth brings to light. Mami will never go through this too. Mami will have to go through this too if she really hopes to build a Tappe 101. Ultimately, a keychain is expendable, but Kazi chooses to treat these expendable things with care if the meaning behind them resonates. Yeah, he seems to not give a fucking shit about like Ruka's. I don't know how to treat Mami's. We haven't seen the one from Chizuru in a hot minute. So if there comes a time with being Chizuru's clown no longer resonates with him, won't that ultimately be a really good thing? And just imagine what could be a greater than perfection beyond perfection. Rishi seems to hint that this is the true aim, to be given the gift of total completion and yet still strive to something even further beyond. But you have to accept the fact that Kazuya chooses to be this way. Like, seriously, if Kazuya had advocated in the relationship even a little bit, he wouldn't really just be Chizuru's clown. And yet Chizuru doesn't view him this way and feels horrible that he feels this way. Like the thing is, Kazuya doesn't step in to change any of this. You know, the one time he does, it changes stuff. And you have to recognize, why is Chizuru acting like this? I think nobody seems to want to address that. Why is Chizuru acting like this? And it's pretty simple. A lot of it is rooted in Mommy and what she's done to her. I think that's just kind of like being ignored. I think Kazuya is Marlin. He's incredibly insecure and wants to retreat to his safe harbor if possible. But then Nemo vanished. He did everything to chase after him, going out of his comfort zone. And he gets Dory's help to do that. Right? Marlin just fits better for Kazuya than Nemo. Right? Nemo is the one in the... Like, that's the funny part. Nemo is the one in the aquarium, like in the little aquarium, and yet Nemo is like devoted to getting out. Whereas Marlin in this case, is in the wide open ocean and doesn't want to get out of his aquarium. And even though he's exploring in the wide open ocean, he literally feels like he's trapped in an aquarium. So Marlin just makes so much more sense for Kazuya's character than Nemo, right? It's like he's been misattributed to the wrong thing, and rather it fits well with Marlin's character because Marlin is literally afraid of the ocean, just as Kazuya is afraid of Umi. And so much of the current arc, like I said, feels like it's thematically saying the ocean is nothing to fear. And I think Kazuya having like all these fish things going on, even jumping into like Minnie's description where he jumps in to catch the fish and all that stuff, his interactions with Umi, his reference to the big wave, or the final wave, like all these things seem to directly tie to this idea of Kazuya being Marlin rather than Nemo. And it's like Nemo is the illusion. Right? The idea that Kazuya is Nemo is the illusion. He's in fact Marlin. And I would say maybe Chizuru is Nemo. Chizuru being the kid in this arc thematically fits that too, right? Chizuru wants to spread her wings, right? She wants to expand and go even further beyond, right? But she feels like she can't, right? She feels like she can't. She feels like she's being restrained constantly. And I think a lot of that definitely has to do with like Minnie, right? How Minnie is acting, how Marlin treats Nemo. And I think that fits Chizuru really well, just in a way that doesn't immediately seem obvious, right? How Kazuya is the one restraining Chizuru, right? It doesn't seem immediately obvious that Kazuya is Marlin because you think Chizuru is the one restraining Kazuya. I think Kazuya is the one restraining Chizuru. And once you come to that realization and you flip the script on its head, it suddenly makes so much more sense that Kazuya is Marlin and Chizuru is Nemo. I address it pretty thoroughly in a big thread that got everyone mad at me, lol. But yeah, I think I agree with the truly trust and would have probably changed it to fully trusted. But my dark tone is for a deliberate reason. Well, I can't continue to read today, so you might have to describe that to me later. There is a darker tone, absolutely. There is like a sad reality to this situation, but I do think it doesn't fully represent the scenario. I do agree with you that like Kazuya is in many ways kind of Chizuru's clown. Absolutely. In many ways, there is completely a broken foundation of trust. They don't truly trust each other, you know? They don't fully trust each other. Like there is a broken foundation. I've voiced my opinion before in the past that Kazuya has. He doesn't really fully trust Chizuru, and it's not that it's just a clown, right? It's also wanting to nurture him. Well, Chizuru wants to take care of him, yeah. In that way, you can definitely see like a Nemo element to Kazuya, where Chizuru is very much taking care of him like a kid. you know, and he leaves. But Chizuru isn't chasing him, you know. Chizuru isn't the one chasing him. Kazuya is the one chasing her. It's not all one thing, so I'm trying to strike a balance to achieve the yin and yang. But it's difficult. Well, we can talk about this more tomorrow. I'm a little beat. I'd like to get ready for bed. I have work tomorrow, so yeah, we can talk about this more tomorrow. We can get into it a little bit more. I think Kazuya will end up with 5 keychains. He already has 3. That'd be really fucking random. I think 3 is his number, though. 3 is his number. You know, Kazuya's number is 3. So Kazuya having 3 keychains, if anything, is an indicator to me. This is like the final keychain. You can equip it to your Keyblade, and it will change forms. By the way, for those who don't know, that's how Keyblades work. The Keyblades that you get in the game, you're actually getting keychains. You get a keychain, you attach to your Keyblade, and it changes forms. Only one keychain is the true keychain, aka Chizuru. Yeah. But he won't ever truly see that or appreciate it in the beginning. You know? And each one kind of indicates what the person wants, you know? Ruka wishes to be seen. Mommy wants something that'll never break. And Chizuru wants a family. Right? That's kind of the big thing. Like, Ruka wishes to be seen. Mommy wants something that'll never break. And Chizuru wants a family. Right? So each keychain indicates something what the characters want. Okay. I'll call it here. Have a good night, gang. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.